What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gamer Podcast. I am your host, Antonius the Gamer, once again joined by my co-hosts, Super SSS Rank and Mikkel Smith.
Yep.
Fellas, how we doing? How we doing?
Good. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy
It's,
holidays.
it's the end of the year, and I just want justice for Spider-Man.
Man, justice for Spider-Man, justice for Insomniac, justice for a lot of things. This is going to be one of the episodes of just like, we're going to be doing rapid fire topics. Who would have known in taking 1 week off that so many things would happen back to back to back? But we're here to try to get through most of it. So with no further ado, let's get right into it. Fellas, we are now officially, as Tim mentioned, a full week removed from the gaming awards. In which Baldur's Gate 3 pretty much swept. How are we feeling about how the awards played out? What do you think about the format, the way the who won what? Give me your thoughts.
I did feel there was some politics involved, due to just like the category picks for certain things, and it's just like how, like a bunch of question dots on your head. And but there was some interesting reveals. I really did like, the Sega quick few second showcase. I was like, oh, so it kind of correlated with what we spoke about. Like Sega is coming back. Sega said, all right,
We
y'all
see
want
what
it?
Capcom has
Okay,
done, and we have IPs too.
Ah,
go ahead, Jory.
I think the Game Awards was lame, man.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as who won, I think Spider-Man should have walked away with something. Even though I just felt like it had more to offer as far as the other games. Even Baldur's Gate, man. To be real with you, because for me, I heard that Baldur's Gate is trash after Act Two. Right after Act Two, it goes down the drain. So it's like none of that matters. I mean, if you have a pretty weak Act Two, I don't think you deserve it. And Spider-Man had a stronger act in that case.
True, but someone would argue that Spider-Man's Act 3 was also its weakest as well.
It
Narratively
wasn't.
speaking.
It wasn't. It wasn't bad. It wasn't Rebel Moon bad. You feel me? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm playing.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't even watch it.
we all.
I didn't even watch Rebel Moon. I'm just saying.
But
But
no, but we all said that we didn't want necessary Web of Shadows, and that is kind of what we got in Act 3. Not for
yeah,
nothing.
yeah, But I'll take the Prime CW writing over 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 the last act of Game of Thrones last season any day, man. So I mean it just with Spider-Man, the DLC can obviously redeem it. That shouldn't be the case, but that shouldn't be the case because you have to spend more money to get a complete product that's trash.
Right.
Um, but I think, yeah, man, I think Spider-Man should have walked away with something. Um, Alan Wake 2, I can see why people didn't like it. I can see why, or I can see where it felt odd to certain people because it didn't sell as much. So it's like, how is this game? It just came out. How is it already there?
Right.
And then just overall, even it just didn't feel focused on the gaming aspect. Like you should give the people who make the game a longer runtime to talk and be thankful, especially in the ages where people just getting hide away, like entire studios gone, abolished. Now we can't feed our families anymore or live the dream that we wanted to live. I'm like, who's this for anyway, Jeff? Like you started off with talking about Kojima and yeah, sticking it to Konami for treating Kojima the way they did, but after that, it's like you don't even care. You're cutting off the people talking mid speech. I mean, it's important for us to hear what they have to say,
Right.
and get an idea of how hard it came, how hard it was to bring forth this game that we started during the pandemic and we had to let people go, but now we're here. It just doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's for the game or the people anymore. That's why I like the Game Awards. I'm like, okay, now it just seems it's becoming a super commercial. Let's see what next year happens next year. E3's out the way, so
Yeah.
Do you think the Game Awards is the next on the chopping block, like E3?
the
I
Game
don't think
Awards
so.
existed ever since it was on Spike TV, and it was super raunchy. And Jeff Keighley cleaned it up. So I think he has enough time to
Like course
basically put the
correct.
focus. Yeah, it's not as bad, but it is bad. You know, it's not as
Yeah.
bad. It's like it's
To your question, Tim, I think he maybe has 2 more award shows to get it right. Maybe 2.
mhm.
Definitely 1, maybe 2 giving good graces. Like if he blows us all the way at Summer Gaming Expo next year, that buys him a little bit more time. But to have somebody who spent 5 years on a game give a 30-second acceptance speech is unacceptable, yo. You can't do that. You spent half a
You wasted.
decade crafting this masterpiece, and it's like, all right, we have ads to run. I gotta get Simi Lou and Anthony Mackie
pulling
on
that,
stage. Come on now.
pulling that giant cane, and pulling him off the
Yeah.
stage like the Apollo. And you know what? You know what else doesn't
Jordan
make
Peele's
any
Wedding in the
sense?
Smoke. Let's go.
Yeah, you know what else doesn't make any sense? It's like, okay, and then you're wasting time with these live orchestras that nobody cares about, man. I don't care
it,
about having Donkey Kong play on
Well,
stage, man. I mean, it's
n-
I mean,
no.
I do feel like it's for the artist
yeah,
aesthetic, because I do understand the orchestras, bro. Because like for example, bro, like Star Wars, like the Phantom Menace, that orchestra, huh,
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was more
I'm
so.
not.
It was
come
more.
on, bro.
Yeah, it was more so what they selected for the live piece.
Yeah,
It's just like, how does Final
yeah.
Fantasy 16 win Best Music and we don't hear any of that orchestra, of that
Hmm.
masterpiece? You know,
There you
like,
go.
why does Alan Wake 2 respectfully get a number over Final Fantasy 16? How? How does that work? Is it a budget thing? You know, like what was it that you could set aside a concert basically for these certain games? It just, even the Muppet segment was kind of like, okay. Like, oh, okay.
And the Gonzo got a check. He got a big check. It's crazy to me. I'm like, yo,
Yeah, yeah, but that goes back to what I said earlier, bro. I feel like this one was very political.
Mm,
Like it just felt political. Like money spoke for itself under the table. I would assume, and yeah, man, votes were bought out, bro.
yeah.
Votes were bought out, bro. I mean, because when people have always said yes, it's a digital system, but you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have some good takeaways. I did enjoy, the Ragnarok tease, and then of course, the Ragnarok
Shadow
experience.
drop, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, the Valhalla experience.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
That was
Wow.
great. That was great, man. That was another prediction of ours. Like I was like, yo, bro, something God of War has to be here, bro, because
Mm,
Horizon came out with its DLC. Like we all know, like, after like a year and a month or so, there's supposed to be some form of epilogue DLC. That seems to
right.
be Sony's thing now, like either epilogue or standalone.
Yeah.
And
Something that
yeah,
incentivizes a complete edition of something, usually.
yeah. Yeah, and it was free, bro. It was so free, and and it's like, bro, like, damn, I'm like, wow, we still get those. We still get those, like,
Yeah.
and the experience that you got, for free, bro, is like, yeah, like, there were certain moments, where me and Anthony, we both said like they could have added a little bit more depth to, but as a free DLC, bro, it was good. It was good.
You know
It
what's
was
it's
really good.
funny you say that, Tim, because it's like as long running fans of games nowadays, we're almost surprised when we're thanked for being fans. Like when a company does something here's a skin, here's a level, here's like a heavily requested thing, just because you appreciate y'all. It's like, you do? Oh, okay. Thank you. Like, you're not nickeling and diming us for this? Oh, thanks, guys. Like, that's amazing.
I mean,
Uh,
speaking of Nickel and Diamond, Capcom and Mortal Kombat is honestly,
well,
honestly, I feel like Tekken was the only person listening.
well, I guess, do we want to talk about that in the gaming award segment, or do you want to save it for the Tekken 8 demo? 'Cause I feel like the Tekken 8 demo segment is kind of where I really want to give,
Okay, we could.
give Tekken its flowers, to spoil, where my mindset is on that. Um,
We good. We could.
all right, but I was gonna ask you guys, do you feel some of the discourse I saw online was, do you feel like Jeff should have said something about all the industry layoffs this year? He didn't
Yep.
say anything. He didn't. I guess you could say brush under the bridge, but he didn't address it. There was no like addressing of the layoffs. Or you say yeah. Why?
I feel when it comes. Oh, I'm sorry, Jory. You go first.
Yeah, because it kind of okay. So then, what's the video game awards for then, man? You gotta have it. It has to stay in perspective. If it's not, it's gonna. If it turns commercial, it's going to die. You've
Mm-hmm.
seen what's happening right now with all these companies that thought they were invincible. You didn't learn your lesson from. You didn't learn your lesson from Cyberpunk. It's like you didn't learn your lesson from Capcom before their comeback. The patterns are there. Pay attention to what's happening. Don't go commercial for the sake of rubbing shoulders against Hollywood, and when Hollywood is kind of not even where it used to be, so it's not a good person to associate yourself with. So you're
Mm-hmm.
better off focusing on what you have and building this community to where it can't become tainted. The thing with the gaming community, it's self perpetuating, which is a plus. If we don't like something, you gonna feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna feel it. You are. It's that's just what it is. You know. So how you the video game awards, and you don't even mention this, and then you started off with sticking it to the man. Where Kojima had his problem, his little scuffle with Konami, but you don't mention the people getting laid off. You don't mention the studio shutting down. You don't provide and access. Hey guys, if you still want to support those, you don't give a speech to encourage and to enable a new culture. You have
Mm-hmm.
control over that with this platform. Make it make sense. Make it useful. You know, he could
So
have he
with
could have issued a new. He said, "Hey guys, listen, we could issue a new thing. Maybe we can expand upon it later, but for right now, we can give people a listing as to what studios could, job studios. What else?
mm,
A
turn
listing
into a moment
on
of opportunity. Yeah.
yeah, a listing into game developers, how to make a video, and whatever these companies are doing to keep themselves afloat. Hey, this game's coming for sale. You could even sell it to business people who really care about games. Like provide these avenues. You're the middleman. You know what I'm saying? Let the video game awards be so much more to where now people be like, you know what, man? I think the video game awards has shown its worth.
Right.
Now,
Yeah. It's a
gaming
staple in the culture.
studios, they say, "Yo, man, you're helping gaming. Why am I? You're the grand YouTube channel of information that we won't get unless
Mm.
we come to you guys."
Mm-hmm.
So now you have a culture that you made. You're bringing YouTubers together, people who stream live for your games. None of that nonsense, but people who are actually there for the sake of gaming. And that's what I think he should have did. It was a missed opportunity. It just and more than one way it shows you where your heart is. And so,
That's fair.
we'll give him next year. I don't think Jeff Keighley is, um, you know, one of those executive guys that doesn't understand the heart of things. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at him that way. Maybe he just probably for this moment missed an opportunity and lost sight of some things. It happens. A lot of
He
things
might have been a
happen
little
fast, and
starstruck, to be honest. Might have been a
yeah,
little
and I
starstruck.
think I think he can recuperate. I think he needs to add more people that care about gaming and are more along a little bit different from him, but still understand the initial, still understand the very values that
Mm-hmm.
or potential that he has. That's
Mm-hmm.
all.
Tim, what you think?
Yeah, when it comes to layoffs, I feel like everything as of now, it's always up to the studio to be the breaker of bad news, and I do feel like that really does need to change. Because especially in this type of industry, you do want to feel a sense of community. Just like how you said, extend your heart out to the people. Like they are part of this product, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may have been there for the finish line, but however, there needs to be acknowledgement of that, man, because just like how you said, the working conditions is gonna hurt the product in the future. Because then now that person who is so talented is gonna feel so scared about the next job that they apply for. Like if these games are not meeting sales criteria or whatever, odd reason, that means they're next on the chopping block.
Right.
And nobody wants that sense of fear, because I do feel like, yes, as we have, like, gone out of this pandemic phase, and then, post-pandemic phase where things have been like gearing up, I do feel like we are now in the period where we should get more steadier stuff. I do feel like, everything doesn't need to have a blockbuster budget, to be on the safe side of things. I do feel that, there are certain smaller games, man, that people just really, really just enjoy. And then, there are certain classic or legacy titles that are still, still booming to this day. Like, the other day I logged on my PS5 and I was looking at, to see who's streaming whatever. I saw full lobbies of Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the last one. And I was like, bro, people are still playing this? Uncharted 4. People are still playing the multiplayer. And then the biggest, of course, especially after the latest news, The Last of Us remastered for PS4. The first one. The first remaster.
The one that still had
Lobbies.
online.
Lobbies full of the multiplayer, bro. So it's like, yes, bro, there's a lot of things right now that are still lasting the test of time if the the servers are up and things of that nature. So there's room. There's room to care for people, man. There's room for that. I do feel like, don't get too much into the Hollywood aspect of, like, it is what it is. But like the other side of the quote says, it will become what you make of it.
Right. Right.
So it's like, what you put in, that's what's going to come back to you, because eventually you might be next.
Yeah. As we can see, right? E3 missed one year and it was laid out to pasture. Never recovered.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, bro, the gaming companies, they realize their power. Sony, when Sony was going digital for the pandemic, releasing, those little inserts, it is like, yeah, bro, we actually could save more money this way.
Don't gotta run a booth. Don't need to fly anybody out to LA. Just
Yeah.
a green
Yeah.
screen and some announcements.
Because, like, bro, like, literally, like for example, us, bro, like, when we were all at our jobs, bro, you get that that YouTube notification on your phone, bro. Go in the closet. Yeah, bro, this reptile trailer is amazing.
Oh, I gotta
It's
use the
like you
bathroom
don't
for the next 45 minutes.
you don't need that. You don't need, like, some of these grand presentations have changed now. Like, yes, that anticipation is still there for certain things, I would say, but things are changing, especially
Yeah.
as the digital world continues to grow.
Yeah. I think, I think Jeff, to Jory's point, has garnered enough goodwill with the people that not mentioning these types of things is going to look like an oversight. And I think, again, he will have the opportunity at least once to kind of course correct for next year. Right. And I think uh, to both of your guys' points is like, we can't start to reject the community aspect of the gaming community. Right. It's not like music. It's not like TV where, like, there's a community for the movies. There's a community for television. It's one thing, right? Until we start getting into these, like, fractions of, like, let's just say, like, the joystick awards start to blow up or whatever the case may be. It's like you are the Grammys, you are the Oscars now for the gaming community. And just like they have best set designer, right? You can't forget the little people that help put these pieces together. Like Tim said, even if you're not the one that sees it to the finish line, like, it's important for you to be like, hey, none of this happens, even with shifts and people, things moving around, without everybody contributing. I'm not going to sit there and isolate you guys just for a bigger cosign and kind of, skim over the problems that are happening in this industry, despite it, still being in a place of growth. So, I feel like that's something where it's like, again, it sounds like we're all on the same page in terms of giving him the benefit of the doubt, giving the award shows the benefit of the doubt, and we'll kind of see what happens next year. My next question would be as far as an announcements, right? So we got the big Sega announcements of what they got cooking up. We got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero officially released with a trailer. Like Tim said, God of War, Valhalla, Final Fantasy 16 DLC, and the roadmap for that. Was there any Monster Hunter, right? Was there anything that you guys feel like should have been there? Was it a welcome surprise? Both? Neither? Like, what were some of the reveals that you guys were like, okay, this was worth it?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
The teaser trailer.
Oh, y'all boys, y'all don't understand how happy I was, man. You see, what a lot of people don't understand about Monster Hunter World is that I never played Monster Hunter because I hated the fact that the game, you're telling me to hunt this monster, and I had to go to every loading area. Understandably, it was a portable game. It's been a portable game for a while, and that's just what it comes with. You're limited to the technological difficulty, technological advancements of
Mm.
the portable systems at the time. So when I saw World 2018, the trailer for it was it the Game Awards that it was hosted on? I believe so. Or E3 that year, the last E3. Um, and I saw the game. I said, "Yo, this is crazy, man. This is amazing. Look at the wildlife." For me, I love a world where you put me, where you draw me to it. I'm looking at these animals. I'm like, "Yo, this T-Rex could actually exist." It's not, it's a little bit fantastical, but it's just the right blend of realism for you to feel like, hey man, I needed this. And then when I finally got my hands on it, I was hooked. A lot of people don't understand. I didn't like Monster Hunter the same way you didn't. I couldn't stand the monsters running around. You mean to tell me I gotta fight this animal for 30 minutes? Yeah, you do. But try it. Play the game. Try it. So then I finally did, and I earned that kill. Then you get to scalp it, right? Then from scalping it, you get to form armor. And I was like, man, this game is fire. Just trying to track the monster and learning how to find the monster. That was it for me, man. And they all had their own different ecosystems and attacks and variations. The world of Monster Hunter. I love a green, luscious jungle. Put a jungle in the game and I'm there. Automatically got me. Automatic. I won't even fight you. As long
Mm.
as the jungle's in the game, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So now you take me to different geography in the game and different monsters that I didn't even know I needed to exist to fight. And it's just that when you earn and in different disciplines of fighting. So Monster Hunter World was just my favorite multiplayer game of all time too. Right? Is there's no greater feeling than having a companion with you in Monster Hunter where this companion has his own specific loadout. Another person has their own loadout. So this person can, because of his armor, he can give life to everybody. This person, because they got a special weapon, they can give stats and boost stats and allow you to have special abilities that you could never have without that person mastering that one element.
Mm.
There was times where there's this weapon called the hunting horn. Oh my goodness, man. The hunting horn, it was the most challenging boss battle. It was Iceborne's boss battle. And so now I'm finally getting to the escalation part to where I never beat this boss. So this guy comes through with the hunting horn. And what his hunting horn does is give us all stats, all critical hits, different random our life bar is now longer. It's half the screen now. And you can't get that without his assistance. So it made these fights memorable, man. It made these fights effortless. And it doesn't have to take 30 minutes. You can kill a monster faster. It's all dependent on your skill. Usually, really, if you're very good, it could take 10 minutes, 15 at max, depending
Mm.
on you. So it doesn't have to take 30 minutes. So that's what I like. That's what I treasured about the game and Monster Hunter. Just from that trailer, these Monster Hunter trailers kind of reveal to you how the game is going to be. That's why I was so hyped. It's a consistency in what Monster Hunter does, man. So for me, that was it, man. You
The
guys,
one.
man, y'all don't understand how crazy Monster Hunter is going to be now, man. Especially with you being able to travel. A lot of people are tossed up between Monster Hunter World and Rise. I like Rise because of the mobility. You know, uh, I don't really. I care about the hunt. I do care about the. I know people like the slow pace of the weapons. I want to feel like I'm wielding a great axe. I don't want my guy to run up a wall. But I don't care, right? I'm playing a game. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Like, I'm fighting a dragon that has jetpacks in its back, talking about, oh, that's how it was formed in the ecosystem. No, I don't care, man. Give me my giant blade. I want to run on the wall, Bushido style. Cut the tail off, land with my compadres, and double up on damage. That's what I want. So I love Rise's movement and mobility. All they got to do is just tweak the air combat so that you don't get away with much. But I do appreciate the skill and the counter to certain things. I love it, and I think Monster Hunter players get trapped in the limits of the technology. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, if I see somebody coming towards me, I want to be able to roll out the way. I don't want take controls when I'm rolling. I want my multi-diagonal roll. I earned that roll because I caught it on time. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's all. Wilds was my number one, man. Was my ah steak.
Tim, what about you? What was the one trailer that like really caught your attention of the game, if
I
any?
was I would say, like I said, the Sega showcase.
Okay.
Um, when I saw, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, even just like,
Golden
the
Axe,
clips,
yo. What in the world?
like even like the clips of like, gotta call it for what it is, Streets of Rage 5.
Hmm.
So it's just like, I was like, wow, like, all right, Sega is starting to finally, level up in a sense. They've been playing it safe, with the Like a Dragon series, even, getting, 10 tones down back into Sonic and stuff like that. Virtua Fighter was a good, tease of like, yeah, we still got it. But then now they're ready to start swinging.
Hmm.
Just get back into the fold, bro.
We
I got
have
a
more
question
than
for you guys.
Sonic. We have more than Sonic and Yakuza. We promise.
You know, I seen a segment on that. I think somebody Kyle Bossman pointed it out the best, man. He said he doesn't think Sega's aware of their IPs. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, they're not."
Obviously.
He said, you bring out what's the most popular. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." He said, "Who's gonna go crazy for Golden Axe?" I was like, "Oh, well,
Nah, people will.
or he said, well, the thing is, those weren't their most popular franchises.
Oh
That's why
yeah,
he's saying
yeah,
that,
you're right.
you know.
But yeah.
So, you would think like, hey, let's put our most popular properties in the forefront. Like for example, I'm interested in seeing Streets of Rage 5. It means they're gonna play like Howling Monks. I don't know.
I mean, if it does,
Could.
that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be great. I'm down for it, man. And I think that'd be the direction to go to. Um, but yeah, just Set Radio Future, since it's early, I'm not gonna
Hype it up too
rule it
much.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
art direction, I'm like Jet Set Radio Future, y'all art direction was the most iconic looking art. Y'all got these guys, Super Bomb Rush, clearly inspired, and success was due because of your art
Mm-hmm.
style. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you guys should deviate, especially if the original creator's not on board, man.
Yeah.
Um, but I agree with Tim. That was a pleasant surprise.
The
I hope
the
there's more to
only
come
thing
from
that
Sega.
would have kicked that trailer off even further, it didn't even have to be gameplay. If you just seen the logo, Power Stone 3?
Isn't that Capcom?
No. It's a
Power
Sega
Stone
property.
3 is
It's
not Sega. It's Capcom.
nah.
Power Stone is Capcom.
Power Stone is licensed to Sega.
It can't be, bro.
How?
It's
It
impossible.
was a Dreamcast original.
Yeah, but oh, okay. In that sense, developed by Capcom, then that makes
Yeah.
Yeah.
sense. Okay, okay, but
It was like when Platinum Games were making Bayonetta sequels for Nintendo. Nintendo was the one that was publishing Platinum Games' Bayonetta sequels. It's
mm.
Capcom's IP that's published by Sega. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Let's see. Let's see.
a Power Stone 3 logo would have been just
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Is it 3D
Well,
made
actually,
by?
no. Actually, I think Jory was correct.
Yeah, it's owned by
Capcom?
Capcom. Yeah, it's not owned by Sega. It's owned by Capcom. I'm not
Yeah,
crazy.
Really?
I'm not crazy. Yeah, man.
yeah, it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was like,
But,
no, I was
but
like, no,
then,
because Ken did had a Power Stone costume for Street Fighter Five. I was like,
yeah,
yeah,
but
I'm like,
that don't
yeah, no,
mean
I
anything.
do.
Companies cross license all the time.
No, that's Power Stone.
They cross license
Yeah,
all
100%
the time.
Power Stone, man.
Okay, I stand corrected. So they led with their best of the original IPs. That was where my mind went. Like I've always associated Power Stone with the Sega Dreamcast. Yes, I know we got PSP ports. Yes, I know we got ports on other consoles down the road. But man, Power Stone, that would have been, hey, we're teaming up with Capcom to we're teaming up with Capcom to release Power Stone 3. People would have lost it. That's my
Yeah,
thing.
but it's all Capcom now, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I, I can't even answer my own question for y'all. I don't even
Wait,
think
wait.
that there was a
There was no Virtual Fighter? That should have been icing on the cake. No Virtual
nah,
Fighter. That was weird.
nah.
I think so.
No, we talked
yeah,
about this. We talked about this in the previous podcast. I don't think right now Sega is. They've just found a new template for Sonic. Right, Sonic Frontiers,
Yeah.
like Tim has said multiple times. This is going to be the template going forward. This is the evolution of the Sonic Adventure formula. They're just now getting their mascot character correct. They don't have the resources to divvy up to also give you another technically sound fighting game, which is why we got a Virtua 5 that was almost like a remaster. It's like we're not going to get Virtua Fighter 6 while we're still trying to figure out how to get our IPs back on the market, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
You've
Hmm.
seen other companies try to do it and it's not working. Sony. When it comes to trying to diversify too much. So I think Sega right now, they're trying to make sure that like here where are some things that we're 90% gonna probably hit it out the park. Crazy Taxi, to be honest, don't take much. Jet Set Radio, if we're being honest, don't take much. It's 90% art style and freedom of control with your graffiti. That's all people really want. They're not looking for anything technically sound, right? You basically want Tony Hawk Pro Skater on rollerblades. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Tony Hawk Pro Skater, uh, Devil May Cry. If you can make it work, because that Super Bomb Rush is gonna,
but no,
it's on to something, man.
what I'm saying is just like it's like the things that they promoted are just like these are just
Hmm.
simply fun video games, right? They
Gotcha.
don't have to be. It's like there's gonna be some depth to it, I'm sure, but they don't have to reinvent the wheel. All they do is give you a Crazy
Yeah.
Taxi sequel that has the heart of Crazy Taxi, that has the
Okay.
heart of Jet Set Radio. When you do something like Virtua Fighter, it's like after all these years, it has to be correct. You can't do no
yeah.
more ports. You can't do any more touch ups. It has to be correct.
To be honest, and I think they're also waiting to see the reception of Tekken first, because
Mm-hmm.
remember, in terms of 3D, Tekken is the only one in the lead in terms of that. In terms of that,
Mm-hmm.
like Mortal Kombat and Capcom, they're still like 2.5
Right.
ish. So Tekken is in the lead in that sense, bro. So they're waiting to see first.
Yeah.
They're waiting to see, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say again, we can move on after this. I don't think I saw a trailer that will like blew me away. Like, I mean, again, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth was awesome, but I'm buying it regardless of what they put out at this point. It don't even matter. So, like there's nothing for me where I'm like, oh my gosh, look at the way they showed Vincent. I'm buying it regardless. Like it's that kind of thing. You can say to him.
I did feel, and maybe this is the PlayStation fan in me. I did feel like, damn, there's no Sony flagship to look forward to. And that's the part where I just kind of felt like, wow, bro, like where have we gone? Like, all these studios that you bought, it's like, okay, Guerrilla Games, they finished theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Sony Santa Monica, of course, Naughty Dog, we know.
Oh, we gonna get to
Um,
them.
Insomniac,
The fraud
Insomniac
alert is
didn't,
starting to go.
you know, Insomniac didn't win, was robbed. So it's just like, yeah, but so where's everybody else?
Sucker Punch has been oddly quiet. Oddly quiet. But yeah, I guess that is my last question for more from the Game Awards specifically. And then I also want to talk about Sparking Zero. do you guys feel like kind of like how the Grammys are, right? Where like a Grammy nominated or Grammy winning album doesn't necessarily indicate it being the best. Do you guys feel like the awards show was any indicator of quality of game, right? Where it's like if I'm Insomniac, right, and Spider-Man 2 is the fastest selling game on the PS5, do I care that didn't sell any awards? If I lost to Alan Wake 2, which is struggling to make sales, right? Because it's something where it's like, yeah, a certain amount of recognition can probably boost sales, right? Like, oh man, I didn't, realize this game was as good as it was. But, Alan Wake 2 sweeping the awards whenever it wasn't being issued to Baldur's Gate doesn't make me want to go play Alan Wake 2 more, personally.
I do understand the publicity, but you are right in terms of core sales because that's what keeps the engine running.
Yeah. Like, what's the point of sweeping up the awards when nobody plays it? Now, again, I'm not saying nobody played Alan Wake 2. Obviously, they did, right? Baldur's Gate 3 flew off the shelves. Obviously, people were playing it. But it's like, these things weren't indicative of like, oh, after the Game Awards, I'm trying to think, Skull and Bones pre-orders went up by 50%. It's just like, not really. Like, these are... Sure. These awards, like, do you feel like they have any indication of like, oh, there was a game that I was maybe on the fence about, but now that it's won in 4 different categories, I might go play it?
No. Didn't help it at all.
That's what. Okay, I thought it was just me. I'm just like,
yeah, it didn't help at all. I don't listen. With Baldur's Gate, what helps Baldur's Gate is the
rabbit fan base.
The variety and, of course, the publicity, the taboo that it put itself under, because it put itself under a lot of taboo. That was the whole point of why people, was drawn to Baldur's Gate.
Rushing to it.
You sickos, all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why, I can't really say like it made me want to play the game because I'm like, man, I know the numbers went up because of the sickleness, of the gamers. I'm like, nah, man. It did make me. What did make me want to play God? The Game Awards helped was the God of War. The God of War DLC,
like the rollout for it.
Yeah, the rollout for it, and then after that, seeing what it was, and you're like, not bad for free DLC. So I thought that was cool, but anything else made me want to dial down. The trailer reveal for Wilds did make me pick up Monster Hunter again and go back to it and it did make me want to play Rise because I didn't want to play Rise because I knew it was held back because of the Switch. So I wouldn't be getting a fully immersed game that compared to World,
right.
But I can tough it out until next year. That's what that allowed me to do. So I'd say that it did work on some certain games, but not all. Certain games I kind of want to play more now that are already out. I want to play Zelda more. I had an urge to play Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom. Didn't beat that game yet. Plan to, but I like to take my time with the Zelda game since I don't really have to beat it right now.
Right.
So I just rather enjoy it. Right?
I was just curious. So I was like, I felt like there wasn't anything, like that. I was like, oh man, now that this game won this award, I should really get to it. I was like, I feel about the same way that I did. Like, I do think, again, the premise of the kind of choose your own adventure aspects of Baldur's Gate 3 definitely sounds interesting. I'm not playing an 80-hour game because something sounds interesting, and it winning awards doesn't change anything, right?
Especially the combat.
Right. I'm like, Idris Elba putting on apparently an acting clinic with the Cyberpunk expansion does not make you want to play a first-person action adventure game. There's just certain things that haven't changed just because it's getting these accolades. Not to step on those accolades at all. It's just like, for me as an audience member, I was like, oh, I was on the fence. But once they won that award, I went ahead and got, no. It was like, okay, cool. It won in the category. Awesome. I expected Armored Core to excel in its category. I expected Final Fantasy 16 to win best music. I'm not like, oh man, like I never thought about that one. It was too many maybe it was just the fact of too many games being out this year, too many Fire games being out this year, where it's like there wasn't really any hidden gem for me in these categories. Of like, I wouldn't have thought that this game would have been so amazing in that category. So how are you feeling, guys, about Sparking Zero? So now that it's actually has some gameplay revealed, and people have dissected every inch, square second of the trailer. In the group chat, Tim dropped the official release that Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, Will, and Yamcha will be returning to the core roster of Sparking Zero. Don't worry, guys, the Z Fighters are back. And I say hashtag petition for Chao Su. He's been done a disservice.
Who else would you put? I'm like, in Dragon Ball Z, in my mind, who else would you put? My thing with Sparking Zero, it's great, but I don't know how they're gonna do it. I want more from the fighting. I want more. You know,
Spike
if it's Tenkaichi,
you're not getting it. You're not getting it.
if it's just Tenkaichi, PS5, Xbox Series X, the game, you know, it's gonna stay right there, man.
Spike Chunsoft, known developers of not only the Tenkaichi series, Jump Stars, One Punch Man, the hero nobody knows,
the game nobody plays.
I can keep going.
Oh man, dog, don't say that, dog. Like, yeah, it looked good. The art looks great. You can slap a Kamehameha out the way. But dog, like, hey, if I'm playing the sagas again, guys, listen.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Throw it into yonder, kid.
But does it having 5 years of game development change nothing for you guys? You don't feel anything about it getting more time in the oven than any of the other properties?
5 years of game development and the combat doesn't change. What were you guys doing? Y'all just drinking Fantas? Orange Fantas?
The visual fidelity, Jory. What do you mean? You didn't see the...
There's no way, bro.
Did you not see the passion in Goku's eyes when he charged up? The red glare on Broly's face when he was slamming Goku around in that cutscene attack?
We're not talking about God of War. We're not talking about Gears of War 5. We're not talking about what Call of Duty. Give me another game where the graphics is crazy.
Exquisite.
Like, to be honest.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. To be honest, when it came to anything like Dragon Ball fighting property, I kind of just feel like, yes, you know, it's in a very weird limbo state, but I feel Fighter Z set the template of what, you know, a Dragon Ball fighter should be moving forward. Like, yeah, you know, Xenoverse 2, they were great sellers. They were that what if story without the too much chaos.
That's a fun time.
Without the Dragon Ball Hero chaos.
Yes.
Like it was that lukewarm, yeah, you know, whatever, you know, learn from this person, da 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 da. That was cool.
And it was party based, right? We could all technically, in theory, play the universe together if we wanted to. But go ahead.
Yeah, but technically it was Rage and Blast, Tenkaichi, but just with a what if story.
Yeah.
Now, it's just like, yeah, like, bro, Fighter Z, it's just brought so much to the table, bro. Because, like, I remember the last DLC when Master Roshi got released. So I was like, okay, let's see what he got. Dude brought out all his every attack that he's been showcased in every tournament. Master Roshi had it. It's like he even had that little pellet energy pellet that he threw at Frost to release Vegeta from Divine when he got captured. I was like, detail. Detail. And it's like,
in a series that's usually critiqued for looking the same, right? Everyone's throwing fast punches and kicks and energy beams. Like, oh, they have no personality. It's like, you're right.
when I saw his grab, it was the hypnosis that he did on. I was like, bro, I forgot about that. Like, it's like, so like, because they basically showed you that, you know, if we would have ever explored Dragon Ball characters, there's a way to do it.
And make them seem like a threat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, Yamcha's one of my favorite characters in Fighters, and I never thought I would say that. He was so diverse.
Okay. Now, with that being said, don't you think it's because the format of the game gives room to appreciate the characters the way you mentioned it, Tim?
Yes.
Because like, what else are you gonna do, right? Your movement is back right to left,
Hmm.
So now these things bring greater prominence because they're in the format that they're in, the fighting format. My thing with a game like Tenkaichi is, okay, if you're gonna give me this world, um, I need the world to be a little bit more in depth. And if you're not gonna be willing to do that, this game is gonna fail because people gonna play it and I'm like, you know what? I don't know why I don't like this game as much as I used to. I thought I wanted. That's what I feel like is gonna happen.
Oh,
I
you
thought I
oh
Hmm.
you
wanted this game,
oh
but
you're fighting in the city, but there's nobody around.
Yeah.
there's nobody around. And my thing is, it's like the same effort that's being brought into this game. Uh, is not going to be brought into Tenkaichi. There, for me, what Tenkaichi should have been, at least this evolution, if you're going to take 5 years, allow me to go through the city, like literally buildings, just like how, and the buildings don't destroy off of one hit. It'll
Mm.
take a lot more. Allow me to go, we're fighting in the office now. And then boom, I get hit into another wall, cement wall. There's ways it could be done. And then you have your super powered battles where glass breaks when there's a punch being, because if you're not gonna, and then expand upon the combat more, like make it so where,
Superman versus General Zod, basically.
yeah,
No,
basically,
yeah, no, but
because it's
seriously,
like,
yeah,
what, because in this platform, why do I need to be a Dragon Ball Z character? I need to feel like being a Dragon Ball Z character.
yeah.
Allow me to go through the movies. You can make combat more challenging. They just don't want to do it. You
Yeah.
seen For Honor. You seen it could all be done. It could all
or
be done.
or to your point, Dory, it's like you said, double down spectacle, right? There's a reason why, whether you feel great about the movie or not, right? There's a reason why the Hirudegarn movie sticks in people's minds. They're fighting a Godzilla-like creature in the middle of the city. There's no more rock formation, no glacier. Vegeta's saving civilians while a skeleton-faced beast rampages through the city. What is happening? Battle of the Gods. Goku's fighting Beerus in this around Capsule Corp. It's interesting. It's visually stimulating, even though they're throwing
And,
basic punches and kicks.
and now you have Dragon Ball Z Hero Superhero, which, to be honest with you, I didn't like the art form they chose, but I did appreciate the world that they gave me.
Y'all are starting to come around. I love it.
And and and
I was
and
out on the island by myself. Y'all are starting to come around.
the world. No, I mean, how can you allow me, someone who seen the best version of Super Vegeta, the best version of Cell within that first intro recap, and expect me to be like, hey man, okay, now I'm just watching Tenkaichi the movie. No, man,
Fair, fair.
I can't.
Yeah, no, but
It's hard. It's hard to.
crucify the art style all day. I'll
It's
give you
hard
guys
to.
that. But
But the
the
world that they gave me,
concepts,
the world that they gave me, yes,
Red Ribbon
was
Pharmaceuticals.
what?
Hey,
Yes,
hey.
genius. Genius. Loved it. Loved all of it. Now my thing is with Tenkaichi, um, what, you're not doing anything different, man. These
Mm,
people like, yeah, my gosh, look at, like, these people are not gonna help it traverse to the next level. That's why, to a degree, the people making the game know what they're doing.
mm-hmm.
Did you know you needed a God of War 5 to be this way? You didn't. Then when we presented it to you, 10
You
toes down.
appreciate it. Mm-hmm.
Right, right. Now, seeing the DLC made me realize I don't like this new Kratos. What? For different reasons. I understand the story progression. I understand the character build up. But you could have easily allowed, just like Batman is still Batman, Kratos could have still been Kratos, but just added more to him. That's all. That's all I wanted. Not this.
That is what the DLC did.
Not really, man. Therapeutics, therapy, really,
Oh,
guys?
come on, bro.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Nah.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. Like, I'm with David Jaffe. He released his statement. He said, "Yo, these guys, what did they do to my Kratos?" I say, "Yo, Jaffe, I understand. I don't know what's going on in the PS5 Kool-Aid,
Nah, bro. That's no, no, no,
But
no, no, no,
clearly,
no, 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 no,
but clearly,
no. Uh-uh.
they wanted Wolverine and the X-Men Evolution Wolverine versus Wolverine from the 90s. I'm gonna make
Well,
Cyclops
bro,
a
how many?
convertible.
But bro, the dude has been that character from the PS2 era. Like, how long do you want him to be that character?
No. There's ways to do it. There's ways to do it.
Yes,
Like
and this
this.
was a way, bro.
This
It
was
was
the
his
way.
ending, bro.
Yeah.
Remember they said there's not going to be another trilogy, so that was his way to leave.
Mm-hmm.
At
To
this
be
point,
honest, you don't have to do nothing with Kratos after that.
this
He
is
could
true.
be
This could have been it,
he could be
honestly.
an NPC from now on from there.
Wow.
Because the thing is,
Wow.
I think, and not to, we're gonna get back to Sparking Zero, but not to get off too far. But I think what this DLC did is it course corrected some of the original ending of Ragnarok, right? Where it's like they tried to put Kratos in this uh mindset of he has to reject everything that came before him, right? Anything that happened in God of War 1 through 3, he needs to abandon it. It's horrible. It's somebody he should be ashamed of, and it's just we won't address that Kratos ever again. And this DLC brought it full circle of like, hey, yeah, you were far from perfect. Do not do not get that wrong. But there are certain elements of what you did that was for the greater good. And rather than shying away from these things, you need to accept these things. It is your
I like.
rage that powers you to get, to help people.
I missed
Yeah,
that.
you
I
still
missed that,
get
man.
that.
Man, it's not as
You would
satisfying.
still,
But
it was him coming to terms with that. Him coming to terms with like these things that I was so filled of regret and shame with. There's ways in which I can use these hands to help carve a better future for not only myself but for my son and for these people that are asking me to help them lead. It doesn't have to be one or
Betos.
the other. I don't have to be
Betos.
the huh?
Betos is his name. And let's just leave it at that. Let's go
Oh
back
my
to Sparking
gosh.
Zero.
Okay, back to
So
Sparking Zero.
so with Sparking Zero, guys, like you get what I'm saying? There's enough inspiration to the thing is, why make the stage so big and there's nothing in it? You know? Why am I fighting
Graphics.
Yeah.
no, but this
It's
no, you're right. But at the same time, right? Like
it's a
the
CyberConnect
game's
2
not
effect.
it's not graphically demanding. It's not with the
Yeah.
graphics that Dragon Ball Z is running, bro. You could do whatever you want. It's simple. It's you guys actually pulled from Dragon Ball Z Fighters. It's great. I think it's genius. Now,
But but one thing I've come to realize, bro, when it comes to anime games, bro, don't expect too much depth. They're gonna follow template.
and that's
But
why they'll
that's
never
right.
succeed in what
Yeah,
that's
I
exact.
agree.
They get what they give and they're surprised. That's what I don't understand. You do what
Like,
you guys are not the only ones who feel the way what they did with the Cyber Connect 2 game, the Naruto game that dropped.
Oh, I've been seeing the think pieces.
It's
It's been
it's
an
nothing.
avalanche.
It's nothing. It's not gonna. Oh my! Like no. Like you understand, Naruto no longer has that. It's not even. It's now nostalgia because Boruto ain't helping.
hmm
Boruto is not helping. This new arc is not helping. This junk is silence on the internet. It's not helping. It's not helping. Right? They now you giving Boruto a Pangea beam. Don't do nothing. It don't do nothing, dog. Like I'm like, what y'all think is gonna do? Get like y'all serious? Now, Dot is in the shadow realm and can bring the shadow realm to you. No, fam, it's not. What I'm puzzled. I'm like, yo, these boys, what are they doing? So now, with that being said, it's it's not gonna go anywhere. You need to put effort more, and these properties. There's no reason. I live in a world where you got a game where like people are begging for creativity. You have a One Piece. There's not a One Piece Final Fantasy game yet.
No,
I'm not talking about Odyssey. We don't care
no,
about
yeah,
Odyssey.
no, there
I don't
isn't.
care. I don't care. I don't care about Odyssey. Y'all see what Cloud just did?
Yeah,
I'm 7 years old watching playing Final Fantasy. I'm 7 years old now, bro.
To be honest, bro, I don't think there's a system that could hold that type of level of a game for One Piece, bro.
No, and it doesn't.
There's
They can find ways around it, you know.
Yeah, they can hit
I
key
don't
moments, and
I
I don't
don't
think it
I
needs to
don't think,
be
and you know, Tim, I think not every game has to follow the
that
universe
template.
of what,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, because you have to understand this is a different medium. Bend the rules as long as it respects the area or the house it comes from. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play a Batman game to where I'm playing the movie actually. I don't want that. Just like the Spider-Man 2 games. They were based off the movie, but they stretched it out enough to where you're fighting Mysterio, you're fighting their version of Rhino. The Wolverine game, I'm fighting a Sentinel, the original Wolverine game. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm fighting a Sentinel, and that, you know, his life bar. You know what his life bar was? His life bar was how much skin he had left on his body.
Yeah, you had to rip him apart to
You
win
had to
that boss
rip him
fight.
apart to win that boss fight. That
Mm-hmm.
was his life bar. Then Wolverine's life bar was the same. His life bar constantly regenerates. Why is that? Healing factor. I mean,
But
you know,
I guess the thing is, to your point, into I guess maybe get our closing points on it is like, what is it? Where do you guys feel like the disconnect is happening with any Dragon Ball versus content that's not fighters? Like, why is it that Xenoverse 2 can't seem to draw enough interest? Why is it that even Sparking Zero can't seem to draw enough interest with these fighting characters, where the entire genre is basically a martial arts anime?
you know what? You know what I think it is? It's a monkey see, monkey do situation. The moment somebody takes hold of these properties, like we see the value in Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a comic. See how much money we dumping into it?
Mm-hmm.
See how much money Marvel's dumping into the next Wolverine game? See how much money Marvel's dumping into the Black Panther game slash Captain America? Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't really like the movies, right? But the
Bugging, but
game,
keep going.
but the game,
I think
they
I
don't
think
have that
where
idea. They don't see. My bad, Tom. I'm gonna let you go, but they don't see their properties the same way we see our properties in the
Oh,
West.
clearly that much is obvious.
And
Have you seen
and
Curse Class gameplay of Jujutsu Kaisen? Clearly, but go ahead.
I think the disconnect came with Xenoverse 2, where the DLC, it was too much. It was way too much. And then when you did get it, like I said, it was template. Yeah, oh, here's Jiren. Yeah, you give probably two
Mm,
generic energy blasts, and then you do a little couple of signatures. Buy it,
that
and
game made
and they
Fortnite
just
money.
they kept doing it for every character, every character, every character. But then what I loved about, like I said, Fighter Z, they added depth. It was to the point where it's like, bro, well, can the base roster get some updates because these new roster people
can do everything,
getting getting so much, bro. Like
bro.
the way they how they did Gogeta, the way how they did
Well,
even when they brought Ranger 17, I was like, now I see why he won the tournament. Like
he
this
has a
dude
full
is
screen super, like a full screen level one super. You are getting murked as if your feet are on the ground when he launches a super. You are getting touched.
like even like Kefla, like bro, like Kefla was like a energy bass rage bomber, like with a hint of the flash, and it's like, bro,
Man,
she's
man.
she's across the stage blasting you with like
Bardock was a terrorist, dog.
Right? They had to nerf Bardock like 3 different times because they couldn't stop
Bardock
him.
bro.
was a
No,
terrorist.
but you know what made me a believer with Fighter Z when I saw footage of Cooler, bro. When Cooler did that whole kick slide thing, I was like, bro, I'm watching the movie of when he was just thrashing
Mm,
Goku across the mountains. So
mm.
like,
They figure out how to make it
dude
work
is
in real
just like,
time. Hmm.
But again,
bro.
it's like
Even they even gave him the move where if you use a command wave, he's swimming through it and he just punches you, bro. I was like,
I'm
dude,
about the game. I'm buying the game, kid. I'm about the game again, dog. like no, but he's right. Like think about it, man. Like Cell is a problem. Yamcha, the base raw, everybody's dangerous in that game. And I remember when I got destroyed by Hit. I put the controller down for 3 months. Hit can't even fly. Oh my goodness. I was getting terminated by Hit, man.
Them little
Hit
4
was
ice
this
traps he lays.
Hit was
Yep.
destroying me. Hit was destroying me from across the floor, across the screen. I fell on the ice beam. Hit got his hands on his pocket. He killed me like he killed Goku in the episode, man. I was just like, yeah, this is it. The Fighter Z has too much to offer because within its compounds, it maximizes everything we love about these characters, man.
Right. It's a tennis
Baby,
point. It's
Revenge
not just recreating it. It's giving the
and now
individual part of it.
Sparking Zero has to do the same. If it doesn't, then it's not gonna last too long. Cause now I can't even create my own characters. That's another thing, right? With Xenoverse, I get to create my Dragon Ball. No, you think it's not nothing? How many fan made comics do we have?
The only reason why it ended up being nothing is because they didn't do it properly. At some point, every single update was if you weren't a Saiyan character, sorry. They get you can now transform into every single form except Super Saiyan 4 with the Saiyans. You could go through 1 through 3, God, Vegeta's weird little sparkly form, Ultra Instinct, and over there the Frieza clan is crying for help. Like,
got you.
You can go golden. Oh wow, oh man, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
can you go orange Piccolo for Namix? No. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things where it's like, bro, like, what are we doing here?
Okay. No, but for people, that was enough, man. We revealed it to them now today. Subscribe because we are giving you light, and we also predict the future.
Truth.
The three prophets. The three
no,
prophets
you're right.
are here. We got to give ourselves credit. Now, we need to make a segment to where like the prophets of gaming, and then I'm gonna draw the tablets. You feel me? PlayStation 5, Switch, Xbox. We've been on the road. We've been unstoppable, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna be like, yo, we predict the future, kid. We just gonna have the game line up in the news and whatever. But yeah, that's my thing with like Fighter Z is a gift that now imagine what they do with a Naruto game. Imagine what they do with a One Piece game.
If they ever get a chance to. That's
they
the
have
other
to.
part.
Like, and not only that, but the game, the person we chose, Arc System Works. Look what they did with that new Grand Rising game. It's a completely different beast.
Mm-hmm.
So, this, yeah, that's my thoughts, man. That's everything I want to say.
I think that sums it up. I think you guys are right. I think the only thing that's going to save this Sparking Zero and really make it stand out is that they have to bring that individuality. They have to.
Janimba's in the game. Janimba. And now they drop Garlic Jr. the next one and his villains. Like there's like really, that's the perfect game, man. That's the perfect game. That's sliced bread, man. In the 1900s, man.
Yeah, because I was like, bro, you actually made sense of Captain Ginyu when back in the day, all the only super you was getting out of him was
body
change now.
That's the only, you picked him to troll. That was it.
They was like, no, we don't need him and his squad as separate characters. Put them all together, and every attack he has a finisher with that. It's like,
of course, yeah, of course. It was right there.
Now I did feel they got lazy when it came to Cell, because it's like, so you're basically the accumulation of all the Z fighters and the villains up to Frieza. Well, the ones who came to Earth, I would say, but you still just Kamehameha waving.
Oh no, it's well documented that the base roster has suffered the most. It's well documented.
The next Cell is going to be Shang Tsung. Easily. Yeah. Not even a question.
Yeah. If you were in the base roster and fighters, hey, sorry.
Perfect Cell should have been the Nine-Tail Naruto went after when he got all the tail beast powers, like when he was throwing all them elemental Rasengans, that's what his Cell should have been. Oh yeah, so Cell does one of his finishers, he summons 6 Cell Juniors and they all do the attack that they did on Gohan, where one does Tri-Beam, one does Gallic Gun, one does Dodon Ray. And even he mixes it up.
No, that's crazy.
It's like,
that's fine.
Yeah, all the assets are already in the game. They just have to
see now they don't have specials like that. They don't have specials like that in Dragon Ball Z, Tenkaichi, sparking, and they should.
But the thing is though, to shoot them a little bit of bail, and then we do have to move on because we have like 40 other topics to cover. Tenkaichi, that's what I feel like gave it the nostalgia plaque of fame of like they were the first game to try to accurately 1-for-1 recreate certain moves from the series. Like they were the ones that did Super Saiyan 4 Goku's Dragon Fist where he punched through Ice Shenron and the dragon flies up and then flies back down in an explosion. They did that first. They were the ones that kind of like kickstarted that whole like, what if we just gave you guys the move beat for beat from the movie? Cool? Cool. What if we let you play as Harudegarn? Sound good? Now you could do Harudegarn versus the Giant Ape. Oh, okay. Like, what if you could transform into Giant Ape Baby from, little, like, they kind of trailblaze that way of like all your little childhood Dragon Ball what ifs of like, what if this person fought that person? They put it on screen first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I think again, spectacle is where they'll probably excel, but it's a CyberConnect effect of like spectacle can only take you so far. A bunch of particle effects and Naruto kicking you into space only looks cool 4 or 5 times before it gets ridiculous. So that's how I kind of feel about that. And we can move on. Speaking of fighting games, right? And moving on. Tim mentioned it earlier, and now we can really kind of deep dive into it. Tekken has finally officially released a demo to the public. Obviously, they had done a closed beta about a couple weeks back, and now there's a demo that is accessible to the world. I got a chance to play it in the last week, and I gotta say, I am pretty impressed. I was so used to some of the bare bones that we were being offered in Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat that I forgot what a game could look like when they want to pack you with content. And I was like, wow, for a demo to give you a chapter of story mode, a versus mode, a gallery to kind of see what to expect when the game releases, and a sample of the arcade mode, I was like, man, again, Tekken might be the underdog of the big three of fighting. Like they came, they kind of lost a little bit of hype, and now they're looking like the most solid release out of the three.
Blown away, man. Again, Harada's a different beast. The Tekken team is just a different animal altogether. That demo, it's one thing when we playing the demo, but when those people got their hands on that beta, yo, listen, the YouTube feed for the characters that people were getting their hands on the beta, man, these people were playing that thing. They were playing it. It wasn't yeah, I kind of like it. No, it's here. And from how the energy was feeling in from the beta and seeing all these fighting game guys playing it, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be something. And the leaks didn't help because now the trailer reveals are kind of like they're exactly what I thought they would be. Right after Yoshimitsu, we had like 2 more people get released, and I forgot who they were.
Right. Don't even make the group chat.
Don't even care. Oh my goodness, man. I'm like, yeah, man. I don't care. But the story mode is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be
even if you do play as Jin throughout the whole story mode, I think we are gonna have special story modes with the characters individually. So I'm not torn about that. And then Tekken Force is making a return. I'm gonna be playing that like it's none of my business because that was a very enjoyable game. And this is gonna be the most complete package in a long time from a video game fighting game.
That's the same feeling I was having playing the demo. I was like, this might really be a modern day one fighting game purchase of like, hey, if you don't purchase a pack of DLC, you got a pretty well complete. It's like there's no update you have to wait for the game to finish itself. Like you will have 30 plus characters, a robust offline mode, a robust story mode. Have at it, enjoy.
And then not only that, you can mirror yourself, meaning the game you can turn yourself into an AI.
Once you've mastered the highest difficulty, now fight yourself.
fight yourself, right? So these things are something that all fighting games, in my opinion, should always come with, right? Because it's fighting game now are growing more than you don't have to have a great story mode, but it helps,
Yeah.
you know, because that's the appeal. That's why Tekken to me was one of my favorite games because the story. I love Tekken's lore, Mortal Kombat's lore. Mortal Kombat's lore is kingdom, right? And up until certain points,
Right.
but
No, execution is different, but the lore
yeah,
itself is
but
amazing.
the lore itself is amazing, right? So um Street Fighter doesn't know what to do with their characters because they never really tried to build a cohesive story. SNK has a great story, believe it or not. It's just not as popular. Um, but I like seeing.
And plus they also give you this ridiculous final boss that people could barely defeat.
What in
Yeah, yeah.
SNK?
Rugal,
Bro,
Oh,
Rugal Geese, all them boys,
oh,
all the boys.
bro.
You have no idea. You
I
have
don't.
no idea. No,
I don't.
It's like,
when you see Ken Masters with the mustache and the red suit in their universe in the Panther as a pet, dog, that man, I'm terrified of homie Rugal.
bro, it's basically like Guy versus Madara times 4. Like those bosses are
Mm.
just like all over the place. It's like, bro, how are you doing all of this stuff?
So,
It
and
to
then
me, it
Geese
sounds
Howard
like
was the
it
pre.
sounds like it was the I don't know if you guys remember playing the vanilla version of Street Fighter 4 where you had to fight Seth before they patched him and he could do
Oh
everything.
man, Vanilla Seth. I could never be. Oh man, I was punching the air for that one,
Bro,
bro.
he could do everything. He could
Right,
zone you. Yeah.
right before I
He
land, Ken, get ready for the Tungeon Engine. Oh, oh,
You
full
know what's
screen,
so funny?
super full.
I actually found a game hack on how to beat Seth. You had to do Zongi's signature move where he does the cyclone. I spammed that entire fight, bro, and I beat Seth.
Yeah, vanilla
yeah,
Seth,
yeah. You know,
boy.
for me,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
And then they say, hey man, if you get perfect, you get to fight either Goken or Akuma. I'm thinking Goken was gonna be a piece of cheesecake in the sun. Goken. I'm talking about Goken. Oh, the setups. He threw me in the air. I didn't even know that's how you do his special. He threw me in the air. Hadouken! Dash! Dash! And I'm like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? He did the double Hadouken. I said, yeah, he is the master. Finished me. I didn't even know that's the setup for it, man. I was wondering, like, yo, this move is trash. This is all you do? Nope.
Not at
And
all.
then, yeah, oh man, yeah, that was a nightmare. But Tekken is looking like that. That is going to be my fighting game of 2024. And the effort that they put into it, they're going to receive it back. I think they're making it easy enough for people to get into Tekken because it's too alluring right now for you to be like, I don't want to play it. Um, the graphics is a big improvement, man.
It looks amazing. I was playing the demo. I was like, "What?" Like, because you of course, you're seeing gameplay clips and things like that. And, it's different from seeing it. Even on like my okay looking TV, I was just like, "Whoa, wow, okay." Like the lighting, the detail. Like, even if you're
That
not
trailer,
a huge fan of the designs, just the detail in the designs, you're just like, I gotta respect it.
hey, I had goosebumps when Kazuya lit the whole sky on fire, and then you see Paul riding. My favorite shot is Paul riding, and the satellite debris falling in the Grand Canyon, like or
Hmm.
wherever he's driving to. I was like, yo, this is gonna be it, man. The combat felt amazing. This is the best feeling Tekken game that impacts the movement,
Even the weapon hybrid characters,
the
like
weapon
they
hybrid.
Yeah, like playing as
My
Nina in the
goodness.
demo, I didn't think I was gonna enjoy playing as her. I was like, I'm not mad at this. Like even the way they implement her gun usage is like she's not just shooting you from afar. Like it's working to her. She's almost John Wick. She's almost John Wick. It's like a gun fu basically.
Oh man, yeah,
Here's
man.
a submission hold, bow 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 underneath the shoulder. Here's da da da. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's. I
Take
was
notes, Cassie
very
Cage.
impressed. Yeah. I was very impressed. Tim, what do you think? We didn't get your thoughts on it. What do you think of the Tekken 8 demo and everything that's been playing out with that?
Tekken 8 demo. I'm glad that they took their time.
Mm.
I'm very, very happy that they took their time. Like they didn't get too wrapped up in the, I would say, the race to get it out. Because even with us, we thought like, yo, why is things moving so slow? I was like, no, we are taking our time. We realized, because even after what happened with Tekken 7, like, remember Tekken 7 was a build-up.
Yeah.
Because you remember the roster was cut short. They sold you so many legacy characters back. And so they had to get back into people's good grace.
Mm-hmm.
So people are even saying now, well, we see certain people are still missing, but they're not dead. So how are you going to handle that? So people are wondering, like, are they going to handle legacy characters like free DLC and then whatever DLC characters we do get, are they all new people? Because people are saying, bro, I'm not paying for Eddie Gordo, fam.
People will pay for Eddie Gordo, bro. They will pay
But
for it.
yeah, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
I know.
But it's the simple fact, bro. Like they're doing it smart, and they realizing like yes, this is new hardware, so it needs to be new. It needs to be new. We need to add more layers to the system. This cannot be Tekken 7.5. This needs to
Yeah,
be 8.
bro.
And the hype is building good. I still keep saying this, bro. What would solidify the deal? Like that nobody could tell them nothing. Give us tag combat as a mode. It's over.
Even if it's offline only, it will still be like,
Yeah,
or like a casual,
because
like you can't do rank with it. It would be.
you already got one piece to
Mm.
the puzzle. You put June in a mainstream Tekken game since Tekken 2.
Yeah.
We finally got June back. Oh, actually, no, Tekken 3. Yeah, Tekken 3.
She was in 3?
Yeah, because she was alive.
Okay.
So yeah, we finally got June back, and then the only time you ever saw her was Tekken Tag Tournament 1 and Tekken Tag Tournament 2, since it was technically a spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, so you brought back June. Well, bro, you only need one more piece of the puzzle. Tag combat as a mode. You don't even give us a whole new game. Just give us the mode.
Yeah.
Just that's all you got to do.
You know
That's all you have to do.
what I thought was really just like the wow factor for me was I've said to you guys multiple times, especially when it comes to Mortal Kombat, that I hate this let's rebuild these characters from the ground up approach every single installment. I hate like, well, we had to start from scratch with Ryu, so therefore that's the reason why there's only 18 characters. It's like, to your point, Tim, about taking your time, it's like you guys did over 30 characters, and I will say this is the first time I actually enjoyed playing as Jin. Like, actually enjoyed it. Like, he's cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a cool character, cool design. He's enjoyable, but like, I enjoyed playing as him. Like, it felt fresh, right? It's like, even with some of Kazuya's like more complicated combos that I've never been able to kind of get down, it's like I still enjoy playing it. Like, it feels unique enough, right? Or like you said, Tim, it's like it's not Tekken 7.5. Like, this is Tekken 8. He feels and moves and plays, and the way they implement their devil forms to their combos, I'm like, this is wow, wow. This feels great to play. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure once the game comes out, there'll be at least 2 or 3 characters that kind of feel the same right? They're not going to revolutionize everybody, but it's just the fact that you kind of went from scratch with basically the entire cast and made them like this. It's just like, I didn't think this was possible in today's fighting game era. I didn't think this could be done.
And well, like what's going on in Hollywood, where you see these guys with very low budgets making films that out
Making
budget
amazing
that,
things.
making amazing things. It's very possible when you got a creator leading like the Tekken team is, and they're doing it because they listen, but they listen with an ear of cognitively, like, okay, you know what you're talking about, but you don't really know what you're talking about. Maybe this is
Mm,
what you mean. And then the gamers are like, well, yeah, that's that's what I meant.
yeah,
Um, Everybody seems to be a threat, man. In the game, honestly, everybody,
yeah.
everybody.
What
So yeah.
what would you my I guess my 2 questions would be, but my one critique would be is I wasn't as crazy about, let's just call it, their modern fighting controls. I don't think it was implemented as well as it probably could have been. Like I look at the way Street Fighter 6 handles their modern controls and kind of makes it where it's like, yeah, the super moves are a little bit simplified, right? But kind of makes sense with the controller in hand. I felt like Tekken it got a little button mashy. Like I tried it just to kind of see how it felt. And it's like, okay, I'm tapping square, I'm switching into heat, and I'm using my heat move literally just by pressing square, 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 square. I'm unleashing this amazing combo with the tap of 4 buttons. Sorry, 4 button taps on 1 button. Versus like Street Fighter, it's like, yeah, it's not the most complicated thing in the world, but like at least gotta hit down square, forward square.
You can link all the when I was playing, I think you could link most, like I did the X, or say square, circle, then triangle, then it gave me a completely different move set. Then I would square square, and then I would finish it off with other, and I was doing a variety. So I don't know if I think that happened a couple of times, but I'm pretty sure that it because with Tekken it's left hand, left leg, right leg. So when I was playing it, I understood the flow that they were having, and I think you could disrupt it. From
Yeah, you can always
I'm
toggle
playing
it
demo.
off. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to
so
be on for the whole match. You could literally toggle it off halfway through if you wanted to.
but
It
when I
just
was
felt
playing, I
very
think
simple.
it's
That's all.
yeah. I think it's gonna have its drawbacks when you play true competitor, because when I took it off and I was using what I'm saying, the good right and left, hey, that computer was having trouble.
hmm
The computers are challenging too. Kazuya was doing people in at medium.
And you will see your health bar.
Goodness.
Like you get one
I'm
little
like,
juggle, the wrong juggle. Oh my
yeah,
lord!
I'm like, yeah,
Where's the
this is
combo breaker? Oh god!
this Kazuya from Tekken 2. This is
Oh,
Tekken 2 Kazuya.
roll escape! Roll escape! Ah! How'd you guys like the heat system? Does it work for you guys in terms of like having essentially a mode that you can toggle on and off at will? It's low key has a super move built into it with the tap of a button that you can kind of unleash mid combo, which I thought was fire. But what do you guys think about it? You think it works?
Oh, oh, it's dope, man. Tekken, I'm down for a game to where nobody's in the corner blocking and staying stiff. That's why I couldn't really get into Street Fighter 4 the way I wanted to. I love it, but footsies is it's not fun for me, man. Like, you
Mm,
got dudes taking 30 minutes to punch and then draw back and then punch again and then draw back and then do a little combo. And because it's so technical, they only do combos in 2 spurts or 3 spurts and then
hmm
call it a day and back up into their corner again. Like, nah, man. This is we fighting. We fighting.
Yeah.
Pay attention or don't. And I like it. I think it's a good addition. And then when the game is finally out, we'll see. So far, I think this is the most balanced it could be. And until
I think it was good. It was good for me. I like the system because I remember there was a certain season pass of Tekken where they started to add new moves, and I definitely feel with this new system they're going to add more layers into it. It's just like how with Street Fighter, when they were adding more complexity to V triggers and all those other
hmm
things. Like they're trying to add some more in depth perks with each particular character. Like let's just say if they add for Virtua Fighter, there was a character where he was like a drunken monk, and then whenever he would take a sip, like his combos, and he would just get crazier, and then of course the life bar span and things of that nature. So I do feel like, especially with 3D fighters,
hmm
they're trying to add gimmicks to every person.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do feel with this heat system, you're going to see a lot more originality with each particular character. It's just not going to be a flurry of punches. Like no, like you're going to probably see, like, let's just say Nina has maybe she like empties 4 bullets instead of like 2 in you if you do this combo. Or Yoshimitsu, he might pull out one of his Soul Calibur moves that you didn't think he could do in this game
Mm.
on you or something like that, and it just builds up from there. And of course, remember, Tekken is all about juggling. is always to get you back into the mix. Like no, like how Joey said, no, none of that. Oh wait, no, like no,
Right.
it's da 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 da. Get back here and just keep going.
Does the release of this demo at all put Mortal Kombat 1 on fraud alert for you guys?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It feels I like it
Street
was
Fighter does
just
too. Street Fighter did too.
Street Fighter,
Like,
yes, but I feel like Street Fighter more so from just the lack of, and you guys might have different reasons. Street Fighter felt that way more for me for the lack of characters available.
Yes. Yeah, because, like, all right, with Street Fighter, they did it again, bro. They did what they did with 5. They were not paying attention. Like, yes, you brought a good selection of new characters, I would say. I did
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the freshness of new faces. But once again, you've took a step back. I was like, well, technically, if this is after 3, um, where's Mikado? Where's Dudley? Where's
Where is
Unit?
Sean?
Oh, but no, like where's Sean? Oh, but we gave you
we know why.
Jamie. We gave you Jamie, and that's their cousin. I was like, no, bro, I want the original Double Dragons. I want them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want their cousin.
Yeah, where is Ying? Where is Yang?
No,
Like,
we
where are
care
they?
about Solid and
Yang
Liquid
Young, I should
Snake. We
say.
don't care about Solidus.
Oh my good. Like, yeah, man, I'll pick Phantom Snake over Solidus, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, oh
No,
man,
you're
that's
right.
crazy.
You're right. But I think again, I think Street Fighter definitely takes a hit character wise. Like you're right, Yang Yun, no Sean, no Makoto. Like where are these characters?
And
But
then another thing,
Mortal
Strike
Kombat
2.
1. Whew.
And then
But
another Strike 2 with Street Fighter is, once again, you're selling us characters that were on. Well, actually, you're selling us three characters that were like one was the base roster and 2 were DLC. In the last game, it was like, bro, we're buying Akuma and Ed again.
mm-hmm. And that's just for Season Pass 1.
One.
Boot, oot, oot. And then not only that, one of the characters is an absolute bust. AKI, KI, killed in KIS, killed in Street Fighter. Cause she trash.
Yeah, bro. Because like when she released, I barely saw any streams with her, bro. Any.
You know what's so tragic about that? They should have just gave her a snake style. The poison gimmick should have been implemented a little differently. Because now
Well,
people,
they kind of did give her certain snake like
yeah, no, she
movements.
moves snake like,
yeah,
but it's like it's not like fulfilling moves, like okay, you have Fong, you could have kept those elements and then mixed up with a little bit of Vega, you know. I
or
just didn't understand.
or not for nothing, like you said, to a snake style,
Nakali,
have her fight like Neji Hyuga. Like
yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
Like a
But you know who fights like Neji Hyuga? What's his name? Chun-Li's master.
Again,
oh
but he's
again,
Again.
dead.
yeah.
Okay,
He's
so
He's
dead.
then
dead.
so then if that's the case, they could have did that, or they could have had Jamie take the place again, but drunken again. But, I don't know, man.
No, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
just
But no, yeah, I think it puts Mortal Kombat 1 on fraud alert, yo. Like even with this season 3 Sub-Zero variant, I'm like, bro, this is not it, yo.
it's
I
not it.
played Invasions for like a
How
solid
Quan
2
Chi,
hours. Yeah, I'm
how
like
Quan Chi they got
Invasions
filled?
is not it, yo. Quan Chi, this is not it. This is not
Yeah,
it.
and especially with the Homelander nonsense going on, because you saw his tweets, right? He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm not voice acting it," and you could tell there was something internal going on, and I feel like that was a very missed opportunity because, especially the way that I'm looking at when these characters releasing, like, yeah, Homelander is going to release when the Boys season 4 comes out.
Which
I see
means
it.
you had time. You had time to get bro. If you have time to get John Claude Van Damme to record a skin for Johnny Cage, you had time to get the actor for Homelander. There's a lot of
Listen, man.
things. There's a lot
You
of
know
things that
what,
kind of like seem like red flags. Like, did they rush
guys?
this
We're
thing?
forgetting. We're forgetting
Well, yes, right. And I think there is a part of it where it's like you can
because
tell that maybe there's a part of it where Warner Brothers is like, this is what's keeping the lights on in the gaming division, right? It was Mortal Kombat because it sure ain't Suicide Squad, right? But it's just like, like this just doesn't feel like we're almost like waiting for the aftermath content pack to like save this game, right? Like it feels that way. Like this base game is just not
Paramount. Hey, listen, if y'all
holding
boys
up.
if y'all boys want this merge to happen, y'all gotta put Optimus Prime and Megatron in the slot for that. for, 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 for the aftermath. Hey, y'all boys, we go about to see Superman.
There's already been data mine leaks. There's already been data mine leaks, bro. There's already been data mine leaks.
Gosh, listen.
Supposedly Jade's coming back as one. Ghostface from Scream. They're talking about, was it the T-1000 from Terminator? It's supposed to be allegedly in the leak. And I think we're supposed to be getting Sector and Cyrax back, right? According to the rumors.
I think they're gonna do something with Kotal Khan or like Conan the Barbarian or something.
Yeah,
like
Conan
that.
the Barbarian was one of the DLC characters as well.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Conan the Barbarian, or comic book Conan the Barbarian? Because boy, they probably signed that up for 2 tracks. Man, this man reckoning bread. Jeez, yo.
Yeah.
All right. So,
fraud alert, yo. Right now,
I think with yeah, I think, you know what I think, because I'm like, how these guys, this news is now being revealed to us now. How long was this in the talks? That's what I'm saying. That's probably why everything is looking so weird now.
But it just feels rushed for some reason. Like it feels like they had a deadline to meet, even though there was such a huge gap between. It's just like
that last act, man. Yeah.
Did you just have to throw something together real quick? I'm so confused.
You know what it is, bro? They wanted to release it alongside that latest animated movie.
But didn't it come out before the animated movie?
It came around like the same time-ish, but you could tell when everything is around a movie release, bro. Or actually, remember, even with Omni-Man, remember they released Omni-Man around when Invincible came back, so they were trying to meet deadlines of shows.
Got it. So there's a promotional check somewhere that needed to be signed off on. Like, hey, we're gonna give you Omni-Man, but hey, on such and such date when Invincible season 2 drops, we better see that trailer. I don't care what it takes. Put that trailer out. Yeah, I don't know. Mortal Kombat 1, until further notice. I mean, again, maybe the aftermath content expansion is going to be everything that we really wanted in the base game, but Tekken has officially put MK1 on a fraud alert, yo. I'm sorry. That invasions mode is trash. The things you can do on that game that don't involve going online is trash. Granted, the characters are fun. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, having played it for a little bit, I'm like, wow, like they really went out of the way to make a lot of these 3D era characters a lot more interesting. But it's just like, but for what? What can I use this on? Online, where somebody who doesn't sleep is gonna like murk me and get it perfect? No. Story mode where everything goes left in the third act? No. Invasions mode where it's like, and now the multiplier. Now this person does chip damage. Okay. Like, and for that you get a new skin. Yeah, all for a skin. No thanks. I will just put this down now. Like, no.
And the skins don't hit like they did in 11, man.
They don't.
They don't hit at all.
They don't, yo.
Like, 11 skins were like...
I'm sorry, yo. Ooh, Vampire Liu Kang. Ooh, Sub-Zero-esque Liu Kang. I don't... Not for 45 minutes of grinding.
Sub-Zero Quan Chi?
I'm okay. No, but see, that was a little bit more interesting because at least you were getting a different style of like mixture of gameplay. Like, this is just a costume. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's a skin on the same moveset. I'm going to do the same mix up, just in all red. Wow, man, can't wait to hop back on.
this thing looking like Game of Thrones final season, man.
Yeah, fraud alert, yo. It's looking a little dicey. But speaking,
then the king of anime fighters is coming back. The same month too, on the night in Birth 2.
This guy.
Bro, I'm telling y'all gotta play it, bro. It was the goat. It's the goat, bro. It saved it. It was the savior during COVID, man. Like, when the streams that people have said about that game, bro, it's art. It's art. It's art.
Okay. I mean, I haven't played it, so we've only gone by your cosign. I haven't got a chance to look at the gameplay of it yet, but you might be right. It might be
I'll, I'll,
the
I'll send
underdog
you some
savior that
gameplay.
the underdog savior that we didn't know that we
Mhm.
needed. But Mortal Kombat 1 fraud alert, yo. And speaking of fraud alerts, now we could really get to the nitty gritty of these past 2 weeks. Naughty Dog. Actually, no, 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 no. Quick aside, Tim, how was the Pokemon DLC Part 2? I've seen nothing about it on the internet, and that pretty much kind of gave me a sign of where things stood, but I could be
It,
completely
um,
off.
it was better than Sword and Shield. I'll
Okay.
give it that. But the lore aspect of it, you could tell Pokemon, they're starting to get tired. Yeah,
Mm,
bro. Like, honestly, bro, it's time for them to like wrap it up. I would say, or um, I mean, it was good. It was good. I gave it a solid 7.
okay.
I gave it a solid 7 out of 10 because there was a lot of Johto and Unova references, and because apparently that's next on the list of like maybe like a Legends Celebi or maybe a Black and White 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what they do with that, and I think that was the real purpose of it is the build up for that. But I do feel like, yeah, Poke Europe and these mainstream games for the Switch, like other than Legends Arceus, they were a letdown, bro. It was just a letdown.
Yikes.
Like, because first off, it's like there's this gimmick that you have to do to get all the legendaries, and it just like it kind of feels like, bro, you just took away what Legends like. A lot of people said this specifically. Legends Arceus set the bar so high of what Pokemon could be. No more trade evolutions. No more version exclusives. If your Electabuzz, if he evolves through this item, yes, give him the item. I don't need to give him the item and you have to trade him.
Mm,
That's dumb.
mm-hmm.
No, just like I would be in an anime, if I give him this item, he is going to transform. Point blank. And yes, they're doing too much of this version exclusivity, but it's like, bro, it's the same story. You're not really given something that is like a real, like, actual difference, like almost like a split universe type of
Right.
difference. It's the same thing.
Or a
Oh yeah,
different
but
perspective
in
of the
this one,
same. Mm.
but then if you get Scarlet, you get this legendary as your motorbike, and then if you play Violet, it's like no, bro, they're no.
Ooh, a
And then
different
the whole
colored
thing with
stick
Paradox,
motorcycle.
and then the whole thing with Paradox Pokemon, like it was explained, but it was still like, oh, but if it's whatever you want to be. But then, like, bro, I've seen Inception. I already know what a paradox means.
Yikes.
I already know what that means. But like I said, it was a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I'm just looking forward to
Womp.
Either
Womp.
Legends Celebi or Legends Unova
Yeah.
with the original dragon. Because to be honest, bro, we technically don't need any more Pokemon remakes, bro. We really don't.
We
We
don't,
really don't.
but I'll
Like
take
they,
a remake of Johto. I would. I would. I'm
I would
sorry.
take a Legends Johto, a
Okay.
Legends Johto, not because like to be honest, bro, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Auras set the bar high with remakes, bro. Even the ones that we got of Kanto, Leaf Green, and Fire Red, even though that was back in the Emerald days, bro. That that the extra stuff that they put in that game, bro. It's like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That was blasphemy, bro. I was like, where's this area that they gave us in Fire Red, Leaf Green? That because that area that they gave us with Firelight Leaf Green, it connected to what Team Rocket was doing in Johto and why they wanted Giovanni back. So I was like,
Mm.
wow, like so now everything makes sense. It was basically the connection piece between that, like just like how Metal Gear Solid 5 was supposed to be the connecting piece between 5 and then Metal Gear 1 of Outer Heaven. It's like, no, I didn't want Pokemon Go Kanto. I did not want that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
And then the thing about it is, people keep saying, bro, like, these gimmicks are not sticking after when this generation is gone. It's like you've proven the only one that makes sense moving forward is Mega
Mega
Evolution.
Evolution. Yeah, me
Like,
seeing a
we're not
Pokemon with
saying
the
give,
with the, with the diamond filter on it is not doing it, yo. I'm sorry. This Terra
we're not
racialized thing, I'm like, this is stupid. This looks stupid.
Terrastalize, Gigantamax. Like, it was cool. It was cool, but, bro, the only thing that really affected true gameplay was that Mega Evolution, bro. We're not saying give everybody a Mega Evolution, but bro, you finally made Sceptile the dragon he was supposed to be.
In a way that made sense, in a way that didn't seem like it was reaching. It was just like, yeah, he could go
Yeah,
even further beyond.
yeah, and then, like I said, bro, Oraz's story mode made X and Y look like not even a tech demo. It just made it feel like, why did I even buy this?
Hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
So, like I said, man, it's like Poke Europe has not been doing good. Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, they were good, but then they still had their drawbacks. But yeah, like Legends Arceus is literally the MVP right now. Legends Arceus gave people that faith of Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. I saw somebody tweet this the other day, like, Gale of Darkness looks better than Scarlet and Violet, and this game came out in 2005 for the GameCube. And I said, you know what? He is absolutely right. That
Yikes.
game had so much depth into it. It had so much like it was challenging. It was very challenging. People have said it like, bro, like Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness are like the Bloodborns of Pokemon games, bro. If you don't know what you were doing, you was getting spanked.
Mm.
Blackout every single time.
Sure.
You had
At
to
a
be
point, Nurse
tactical.
George is
You
like,
had to
again? You here again?
like like you had to know Pokemon, bro. You had to know it. Like it was not this new Ash where he's just doing whatever and he just wins. Like no, you had to know what you were doing.
Mm,
Hmm. And
man,
that's just how it is.
Okay.
I already knew what time it was when like the internet will kind of give you a sign of how things are being received, right? For better or for worse. And when I saw only one meme of the Pokemon DLC, and it was a picture of Entei sitting on a rock, and they compared it to Mufasa on top of Pride Rock, I was like, it's over, yo. This was the one meme you came out of this whole DLC. You brought back the dogs, you brought back Lugia, and this was the only thing. It's not looking good. I'm like, I gotta hear what Tim has to say about this because this does not look good.
Yeah, because they did paradoxes of all, the legendary dogs. And, like Entei's design was interesting. It was interesting.
When you put that picture of was it Suqueen or was it Rayquaza? No, not Rayquaza. Raikou or whatever it was in the group chat with the long neck. I was like, yo, fire everybody. Let go of the entire
Oh
staff, yo.
my
Executor
goodness.
Suqueen, let
What
fire the
was
entire
that?
fire the entire staff. Get this demon looking
Dog.
blasphemous thing off of our group chat. Remove,
I,
unsend.
yo, I could not, but I'm like, yo,
No, but yeah, but I'm serious, bro. Like, Pokemon has reached a point where, the remakes don't really hold up anymore. Because yeah, like, after they revisit Johto or Univore in some form of a way, the next thing on the list is Kalos, which is where, the Pokemon like Gen 6, whereas the Pokemon series saw a massive decline. And, Pokemon like that sixth generation just felt like bare bones because you brought out Oraz, which knocked it out the park, and then you gave us Sun and Moon, which kind of gave us more highlight on the third legendary, but he's not the third legendary of this game. So it's kind of like it was like they were starting to do too much.
Mhm.
So going forward, I do feel like more bigger base games, like I would say, like Pokemon Coliseum, Gale of Darkness, Legends Arceus. I do, and even in like in terms of spin-offs, like Detective Pikachu when they get their stuff right, and and it goes back to what I said, Pokken Tournament. I feel like that is the way to go.
They gotta do a spin-off, man.
Yeah,
They
they
should
do.
have already had other properties off the ground to where they don't have to feel pressured to release a new Pokemon. Because what's going to help this new version of Pokemon now is one where you have more of an in-depth system, a
Hmm.
stronger system. That's the only way. If they do an Arceus of every version that of Pokemon handheld, then that's gonna save them. Because now we have something to look forward to, right? Oh
Yeah,
man, I can't wait for this Grand Theft Auto Pokemon,
yeah. No, I was
Fire
thinking the
Emblem.
same thing. I
That's
was
the
thinking the
only
same
way.
thing. Hmm.
That's the only way. Because what they're giving us now is not even. I'm like, there's still animals that are not discovered yet. Go back to that, man. Go back to that.
Yeah.
Go back to that. Go back to
Or
the Pokemon Snap exploration. Mix Pokemon Snap with Arceus. Like, if you don't want to catch Pokemon, you could register as a photographer.
hmm.
The new Pokemon Snap was actually pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
But there needs to be more things like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like lean more into that spinoff. We need some type of real time Pokemon something. Like this turn based RPG thing is cool. It's the bread and butter. It's what carries the main series. But if I could have an action adventure style Pokemon game where I'm using these moves in real time, I'm all there for it. I'm for it. Imagine like something a combat system, maybe not as simplified, but it was like using Pokemon Trainer in Smash Brothers. If I wanted to go range, pull him back, boom, here comes Squirtle shooting Hydro Pump from across the stage. If I want the mid range mix up, Ivysaur. Like, give me something where it's like, yeah, you're not emulating the show, but it's not like, okay,
You
I
know,
use tackle, then you use wing attack, then I grab a
you
potion.
know,
Like it's just that we've been playing that since we were
y-
5.
and then here's what I was saying. Like, you have games like Pokemon, you have games like Pikmin and Wonderful 101. I'm like, guys, this doesn't open your mind to the possibilities of games you can make.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a Pikmin. Pikmin is dealing with the culture and the environment, and you got to pick, of course, very more robust, unique, in your face action combat mechanics. But why don't I have, man? I need a Pokemon that could use a high jump kick to kick this rope down so everybody could climb.
Right. Or environmental hazards, right? You go into this jungle, now you're getting jumped by 30 primates. Now what? Like just certain things are just like something that's like, oh man, like an
Yeah.
endurance
So
battle
like,
against a bunch of, wild
imagine a
creatures.
Pokemon. Imagine a Pokemon Baldur's Gate. Where it's like it when I say that, no, follow me,
No,
where
I'm
you make choices, you feel me, it doesn't have to play that way. It can just be
mm,
the option of having different paths lay out before you.
yeah.
You want to go to Johto, you got to do this, that. Oh man, and I got there, free of my own will, of my own, because I wanted to go to Johto, but there was things I had to do. I had to find workarounds, and I just don't see why.
Yeah.
um
Or why are your protagonist the only one who gets to power play, right? Like you said to the Baldur's Gate thing. Hey, maybe you go this route, right? So your Pokemon level up higher, but because you took the scenic route, Gary catches Mewtwo first. Now what? You know what I'm saying? Like just certain things that gives you like a little like a side story. Maybe it leads back to the same conclusion, but it's just
yeah.
like no, you get to catch all 3 legendary dogs, Lugia, Ho-Oh, and it's just like and your rival uses Cyndaquil. It's like, hey, buddy, I got some,
Yeah, yeah.
got some,
That'd
got
be
some grim news
that'd
for
be
you.
the boy. Or right. This man has the first Cyndaquil ever made in lore, and you find out the Cyndaquils is a different tribe of animal, and that these Cyndaquil are related to the Grand Cyndaquil. I'm just saying, like
There's some type of like
something.
twist, twist.
And
This
those
one,
games, those
mm,
my fault, but
no, you're
those
good, good.
games win. Those games win because of their charm. Pokemon has the charm without all of that. You know what I'm saying? So now you implement these new systems and like these new. I'm like, now there's a Pokemon game for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Is it traditional Pokemon? Not quite, but I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
Give yourself time, man, to think and breathe. When you don't have time to think and breathe, you get what you turn into Madden.
Yeah. You turn into Madden, you turn into 2K, you turn into
2K,
Call of Duty. It's just the
Call of Duty.
same thing over and over.
What else are we gonna do? We tried having you run on walls. You don't want to be that fast, right? You don't want to be able to swim underwater, right? We tried that. You guys want to be regular knees, Vietnam kneecaps, Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all want, man. Y'all
Bro,
want a flail? Y'all want to use a flail? I'm trying to give you the world. That's
bro.
why for me,
I will never forget one of the number one requested things in Call of Duty being destructible buildings. Like, but now you can run on walls. We said destructible buildings. Why in
but
three console
what are you
cycles
gonna
can I
do with
not
that?
shoot through this
What
wall?
are you what are you gonna do with that though? That's my thing. Y'all don't deserve that. That deserve to be in Battlefield. Y'all don't have the scope for that type of game. Y'all don't deserve that. So get out of here. Well, you mean Battlefield has destructible buildings? Well, why can't we? Because you guys are on foot 99% of the time. Now you got a go kart. Okay, whoop de doo. It's not the same, man. Battlefield is for men. That's for men. All right, just like people want to put up Metal Gear Solid versus Splinter Cell. I said, okay, which Splinter Cell, which Metal Gear Solid? Because you're not doing that to my five. Five is stomping y'all on gameplay. I don't care what y'all say. I don't
Mm.
care. Five is stomping y'all on gameplay. Y'all lucky Snake can't go down through a wire. Y'all lucky. Y'all lucky. Y'all lucky, man. Because that online felt like Splinter Cell. I don't care what anybody said. That was a missed opportunity.
To be honest, that's another game that I saw like this past couple of days that the lobbies are still full. Metal Gear 5 online. I was like, bro, people still playing this
Bro, that
online?
that thing was so fun. I was having so much. I'm choking somebody out, and and then I kick him to him. I'm like, man, this is what you. And then there's a mode where you turn into Snake. You could turn into Ocelot. Yeah, man, that game is
Yeah,
still fire, man. To this day,
yeah. Well,
to this day.
But
I,
yeah,
Yeah,
moving forward,
yeah. Moving forward.
Pokemon needs to take their time.
yeah.
They need to take their time, and they need to start to build on their innovation again.
I see. Speaking of innovation, oh man, see how all these things tie right back to the same topic. Speaking of nickel and diamond, innovation, fraud alert, Naughty Dog, yo, your time has come. We've tiptoed around it, right? We've let your legacy speak for itself. Especially no, even Jory. Tim and I being PlayStation fanboys, we've given you guys the respect you so rightfully deserve with the IPs that you have given us, especially during your PS3 era. Hats off to you. The Uncharted series, the Last of Us series, salute, salute, salute. But you are on fraud alert. I could not believe, not that I couldn't believe the news, but I couldn't believe the boldness in which Factions was canceled with The Last of Us Part 2. There was that was the crux of people who were defending Naughty Dog of like the only reason why they haven't announced a new IP or a new game, the only reason why they keep remastering is because Factions is coming, guys. Factions is coming, and when Factions coming, it will tell us, it will give you guys all the reasons why they took so long, only for them to cancel it, fellas. Which means in the PS5 life cycle, we've only from Naughty Dog, from one of the flagship companies under the Sony umbrella, we have gotten 2 remasters of games we have already played. What's the third one?
3.
What's the third one?
Remember they did the Uncharted
Oh my
Thieves
gosh.
collection,
Woo!
which is basically like a
You're right.
upgraded
You're right. Oh
upgraded graphics of the stories of Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, but bundled together. And then
oh.
they of course they did The Last of Us 1, and then now they did Last of Us 2. But then you already know what's coming next. Oh, here's The Last of Us 1 and 2 bundled together. You already know it's coming.
And not only that, Tim, not only that, but you announced The Last of Us 2 remake with what? What do you announce it with to make up for the lack of a multiplayer option? You announced it with
Lost levels.
lost levels and some skins. Not levels that like and I mean maybe it could just be the way they worded it at the time. Not lost levels that just didn't make it in time and therefore had to be cut. Ideas that they're like, don't really want to see this through. We're just gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? Like not like a director's edition of like now that we have the time to do this, let's do this right. It's just like, yeah, we had some ideas that we just never really fleshed out. We're just gonna give it a go to kind of make up for this, guys. Here you go, The Last of Us 2 remastered. Only a console generation ago, you got this game. And a game that came out at the end of the PS4 cycle, where the graphics were about as good as you could get for that generation. Fellas.
I mean, but to be honest, bro, when you really know how that works, like you already saw that coming. Like, and to be honest, I could tell, like, yeah, Factions was canceled a while ago. They were just kind of just dragging it out, I would say.
Yeah, but Tim, but to release
but
it,
then
to cancel it with no announcement of a new IP, nothing.
I do feel now. Yeah, I mean, that is a warning sign, but now it's like, and I would say now, as in next year, now you have to show up with something.
My goodness.
Yeah, you have to show up with something, and then like I go back to what I said, bro. Jack 4 it's right there.
It would have to be
It's
more
right
than
there.
Jack 4. It would have to be Jack 4 and something else. It couldn't just be Jack 4 at this point.
These guys at this point need more hands on deck.
Yeah,
because
it can't.
Jack they're releasing one game. Yeah, they need more hands on deck, man.
They normally from the PS4 cycle they released what 2 games really during the length of the console cycle, which is fine, right? One towards the beginning, one towards the end. But if that's the turnaround time, if we're averaging 4 to 5 years in any given game development, Jack and Daxter 4 is not getting it done. I'm sorry. For as much as people wanted things like Crash Bandicoot, and for as well as Crash Bandicoot did, where did all that hype go when they actually released Crash Bandicoot 4? Not saying Naughty Dog did, but once Crash Bandicoot 4 came out, I was like, what happened to all that Crash Bandicoot love that y'all had? What happened? It sold.
It wasn't real.
It wasn't real. It was all internet.
It wasn't real. It was all internet. That's my fear for a lot of these games like that, man. It's all
Jack and Daxter will not get it done.
Yeah, because look at Ratchet and Clank, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a great placeholder.
No, it is.
Yeah, like I said.
Now, if you have 3 placeholders, that could do something. But the fact that you need the Avengers for this, it's not good, and it costs.
And it costs apparently hundreds of millions. I don't think Jack and Daxter 4 is what gets Naughty Dog back in the public's good graces. There's no way.
And it can't be as raunchy as it was because Jack 3 was raunchy, man.
Even if it said it's raunchy, even if they went for a mature rating on Jack and Daxter 4, it wouldn't change anything. These mascot games that people champion for, clearly they're not buying them. So it wouldn't be enough.
I mean, I would say this. I feel like Jack 4 would be a good placeholder. But then I also have come to realize it's like, well, there's really no Sony rotation, I would say. Because when you look at it right now, the current flagship that is like still freshly new and in play is Insomniac. And of course, you already know what's next in line for that. You know, Horizon finished before them. God of War is kind of back into the mix now because they came before Horizon. So yeah, like Naughty Dog is technically like I would say out of the one like the horsemen of the Sony flagship.
Of Sony.
Yeah. So like and I do feel like yes, like Jack 4 will probably be a good turnover time. It's not a it's a robust world, yes, but it's not something that has to be the groundbreakingness of graphic hardware. I would say.
Yeah, it could be like how Ratchet
and it would be great.
It would be great. Yeah.
it'll be nostalgia, fun to play, and it'll be good for people to get back into it. And then you just never know. In the meantime, what other the Sony flagship like companies are doing in the time being, because you got to remember, bro, they got like over 12 studios, so it's kind of like. I mean, I do feel like Naughty Dog. I wouldn't compare them to like the Gran Turismo developer, because look at them, they release like one game per console generation and they just fine.
Yeah, but they also use that to train NASCAR drivers. You know, it's like it's different over there. they they drive.
Yeah,
they over there
Yeah, that's
it's
driving.
crazy.
it,
That
it's
is
different. It's different,
It's
but
crazy.
like I said, yeah, I do feel like yes, as of now, like hey, the eyebrows are fully raised. But however, I do feel like in their grace, and just like how I said with the TV show, yeah. So you announced the cancel of factions. Well, guess what? Sales are about to go rising again for the people who want to experience that mode or who want to come back to it. Yes, the PS4 version of The Last of Us remaster sales are going to rise.
The Last of Us 3 also does not get it done. It does not
Yeah,
get it done. They maybe, I mean, I don't know, Dory. We haven't gotten your take on it yet. Maybe I'll stand alone on this. And don't get me wrong, like I want to say, especially because we're on a public platform, I do not in any way doubt Naughty Dog's capability of putting out great games. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. I own most of their IPs because I think they make quality cinematic, well written characters and stories when it comes to their games. And when they really want to, they can press the button and innovate the industry. So it's like Tim, like you said, like it's the grace of like I know what you guys are capable of. You guys have shown out time and time and time again. But the thing for me is like, well, what do you do, right? It's clear and respectable that you guys don't want to do an Uncharted 5. That's fine, right? Like as much as I would like it, I'm fine with you guys closing Nathan Drake's story. That's fine. But at this point, it's like, you're right, Tim. Jack and Daxter would be a respectable entry. I'm sure it would sell fairly well, right? I'm sure people would love it for it to be reality. I don't think it sets the world on fire in terms of the company. And then it's just like The Last of Us 2, it's such a controversial entry, even though I was fine with it. Right? All the things of certain characters being killed off and certain character motivations, I was fine with it. I was like, it told a really good story about what the desire for revenge can lead to. I thought it was great. Maybe a little bit too long towards the end, but great. Right? It wasn't as universally loved the way the first Last of Us was for The Last of Us 3 to be a guaranteed banger, especially at this point the main character is Ellie. Because game fans aren't the biggest fans of her at this point.
Yeah.
And
I
you
think
are we all know how they feel about Abby. So
well, Abby is the symbol and the face of Last of Us, guys.
but
Um,
go ahead, Joe.
oh man, How- I think the fact that Resident Evil was making a comeback, it fills a void, and that's why I think Last of Us was so well received because it filled the void
Mm,
of horror slash story that people wanted, and it gave them a
hmm
story that was unique in that
I do.
genre. But I really think because this Resident Evil presence is now back in action, and the horror genre is slowly now becoming way more interesting because you have a lot of options now, believe it or not. They're not as popular because we don't have access to them, but they exist. People know that, yo, on Steam, my life is complete if I'm just a horror fan, right? And for mainstream stuff that's coming out, you have enough now to be like, to where it might not be horror, it might have elements of eeriness,
hmm
and that might just do it. There's enough now. The fact that Resident Evil is now back on the store. For me personally, when I saw Last of Us, I said this game would not exist without RE4.
I don't think they know that. I don't think that. I don't think they
So
side from that. Hmm
no, and they don't. And now, kind of like the subconscious thing. That's usually how I am. When I know the king is back, I'm usually gonna go back to that, unless they offer something different for me, completely something completely different. But that's what I think. it might not be as strong of a fact or strong of a deciding factor, but I think because Resident Evil and other games now have that presence, some people are probably not as interested in following, especially with the decisions they're making now. PlayStation, the story choices, people are not a fan of it, and I don't think the current political environment helps that game be well received and flourish because everything now feels forced. So
Even when it's not, right? Even when
it's not
yeah.
supposed to be, but it definitely is forced. So
Tim, did you have a point you wanted to add? I know you were going to say something earlier.
I do feel like, yeah, because you brought up a good point about how The Last of Us One was favored. I do feel there's a lot of eyes on what Naughty Dog does, like due to like also the reception of the show. And this is why, like, I have fears when you're connecting game properties, shows, and movies. It's like now I feel like because sometimes when it comes to that, development suffers. So you never may know. The loss of factions may have been, due to like something, with the show or something like that. And
That's a
you'll be
fire
surprised that
point.
all these things
No,
are
that's a
really
fire
intertwined.
point, bro.
okay,
Neil Druckmann can't
you're
So
work on a
right.
plot line if he's directing The
Listen,
Last of Us show. That's a fire point.
yeah, because I was even wondering, is like, all right, what made The Last of Us One so great? Of course, yeah, the base game, the multiplayer, but then it was that standalone story. Well, what happened with Ellie's friend? It's like, yeah, bro. And to be honest, bro, I remember watching the show. People was like, when are they gonna do it? When are they gonna do Left Behind? Like people were just so ready for Left Behind. And I realized it's like, oh wow, Last of Us Part Two hasn't done anything story mode wise, and it's a story mode based game. It's like, yeah, they gave us some more difficulty modes or whatever like that, but it's just like that's it. And I think the show has affected the development because now whatever you add to the game, the show has to be there has to be a show
Some
component
type of
now.
synchronicity to it now. Yep.
So it's kind of like, all right, now story mode narratives. There are so much, like, say chefs in the kitchen, and that's what I think. That's what I think is going on.
They got to ride with
guys,
TV in mind.
one word on how this ends. Can you guys guess? Because this has been done before.
Don't say reboot.
No.
Oh, okay.
Guess. This has already been done before, and Xbox tried to do this.
I was gonna ask. Well, I won't say spoil the one word. But go ahead.
Can you guess? Okay.
Halo.
Quantum Break.
Oh,
No. Quantum Break.
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break also tried to release episodes with the video game. Yes, you guys don't remember that, but that happened. And as you can see, is there anybody talking about a Quantum Break? No. Now, on the flip side, HBO production helps. Well-written story, thought about, also helps. But is it sustainable? Do you want more time to waste, more revamps, and this and that? Tying a video game to a show?
Yeah.
Your live service options right there, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
No, it's
You don't
true.
want to do that. And that is definitely 100% going to cause creative differences because we're actually making production, not that silly green screen that you whippersnappers play around. So guys, listen, this medium is more valuable than that medium. To be honest with you guys, they both have their value. Not to talk
Hmm.
down on one or the other,
Hmm.
but if I want to play right now, I had Halo booted up not too long ago, and Halo finally is where it should have been, and from the
At
very
launch.
beginning, at launch. Uh, I just bought on Thanksgiving the Spartan 4 armor, Spartan Mark 5 armor. That's Master Chief's first armor since Halo 1. It's now in the game and I can use it. That's my favorite armor, favorite version of Master Chief because it's Halo 1. I played Halo. I have the combat, the edition, and it just made me want to play Halo again.
Mm-hmm.
So this value here is I can relive these moments. I can also watch the movie again, right? But it's just not gonna hit the same versus me. It's not gonna hit the same me going right when I went left last time in the video game. I can't do that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Clark Kent is gonna fight Zod again towards the end of the movie, you
Yeah.
know. And I think it's a bad deal because it's like it's unmanageable, and not to mention you have other studios not succeeding in this. Stop! It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. It's too much stress. It's just too much to do, man. You don't have the peace of mind. Not no it's not like we live all in the same community. People have life going on. You know, it's too much money being spent. It's just too much. And I think it's gonna destroy whatever you have established, man. As far as the flowetry of the game already and how they come to produce production.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it fuels the room, like the nickname that Sony Games Studio is trying to get, which is cutscene studio, right? Where it's like you're watching more of the game than you're playing at this point, and
Just listen.
it's something where it's like you still have time, right? You still have time to course correct, right? I think there's enough, like Jory, like you said, enough foresight and forewarning of like, here's how it went left for everybody else. Y'all are not the exception in this. You can still pivot. It's not too late. I think we're starting to see a lot more of it. Like, no, let's figure out ways for it to expand on this universe, right? Where it's like, you like you said, Jory, it's a lot easier for me to fall in love with the character that I'm playing and controlling over a 20-hour campaign than it is in a 2-hour movie or an 8-hour episodic. It just is, right? You could have a character that everyone loves from the game. They're not handled the right
Hmm.
way in the movie or the show. I don't understand why they even like this character. This person was trash. It's a dangerous, dangerous intersection. And that's why I was saying, like, I don't think Naughty Dog's in a really weird place because it's like, listen, like, to the things you guys both said, Last of Us 3 will not get it done. It won't. It won't be the thing that puts the it could be the most psychologically stimulating narrative we've ever seen in a video game ever, and it still won't. Because you spent this entire console generation giving us remakes of your previous entries of this particular IP. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I'm like, yo, I don't know. I don't know how we got here. And it seems like Sony's going to be looking to emulate that more than diverting from it less. The fact that we're
All
getting a
right.
Ghost of Tsushima movie, I'm like, this
Mm.
to me does not look like the path to avoid the forest fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, we don't need a live action
They're
Ghost
they're
of Tsushima
they're
movie.
doing what Marvel and Disney has been doing. Hey guys, we want to release a movie about remember that character in Spider-Man that was the landlord's daughter? Yeah, she's gonna be the main character. hmm And in that, she's gonna get powers of Spider-Woman. There you go.
Yeah, and
Or
even
she
that would be
was
more interesting than
always
Madam Web.
Madam Web. How about that,
Anything would
guys?
be more interesting
I,
than Madam Web. Sorry.
hey man, every time I see homegirl in the '90s Spider-Man, I see you, man. Oh my
Hate.
gosh, dog. I'm in
Hate.
tears. Oh my gosh,
Well,
dog.
that's a
Man,
perfect way to segue into our last topic of the night. The leaks among us, yo. My goodness, guys. Insomniac. Uh, first of all, let me say first and foremost, we're not going to be like the rest of these other video game and anime outlets of like, wow, we just want to, in this time of grief, we want to give Insomniac the space to not speak on the leaks and the things that we've seen all over the internet that's been trending on Twitter for the past 4 days straight.
Yeah, right.
Right. We just want to give, like, even though we've spoken on every other type of leak that there is in the world, we've spoken at length at the Capcom leak, and we've spoken at length at the GTA 6 leak. When it comes to Insomniac, we just want to respect. Guys. Right. We just want to respect the people and the things that they were gone through. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Right. Don't get me wrong. I'm with them in that. Right. I agree. There should never be a situation in which, in your need to find out what we're cooking up with the podcast, you now have access to Jory and Tim's personal address. Right. That's crazy to me. Right. There's at no point where someone's personal information should be compromised because you wanted to hack something. Right. To see, right, if somebody got into Tim's computer and put out an unfinished version of his next documentary, I'll be hot. I'll be tight on his end, right? I'll be upset. Like this, you're putting incomplete creative vision that he's not ready for. If I went to Jory's house, scanned every picture of his notebooks, and it was like, look, this is his story arc for the next 4 years, I would be, saying he has every right to be upset. I'm giving you an incomplete, unfiltered, untweaked version of something that is not done, right? So, and as a creator myself, I understand, right? I understand the hurt that can come with something coming out that you weren't ready to release to the world. I get that, but to say that we're not going to speak on it, it's just like, listen, it's been a trend. Wolverine has been trending on Twitter for literally the past 4 days. You think it's something movie related every time, and it never is. You're like, oh, Deadpool 3. No. No. It's yet another asset that they've kind of unlocked from this massive Insomniac hack. So, I mean, there was a couple of things that I just wanted to kind of highlight with you guys. And then, now we've had the space to discuss it and really kind of get into it. And let's start with Wolverine. Right? So the Wolverine leaks come out. Obviously, it's pre-alpha footage, which was a little alarming because, there was these rumors back and forth about Wolverine possibly coming out at the end of 2024, early 2025. And from what I've seen, I'm like, this is looking like 2026 at earliest. This isn't even anywhere close to being finished.
Bundled up with the PS5 Pro.
Yeah. And not for nothing, it's like, I'm not going to sit there and criticize the gameplay too much, right? Because we've seen when people have put out unfinished builds of previous games, how gameplay can drastically differ from the final product. But there was a lot more Spider-Man comparisons than I was comfortable looking at. I'm not even going to hold you.
I mean, once I saw the water rapids, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, like
jet skis again.
Like, I get it that, like, I'm sure having, a traversal system for Wolverine can be tricky, but seeing him do parkour just didn't sit right with me. I was like, parkour? With the man with the adamantium skeleton? Hopping through the trees?
It works. No, it works. Yeah, I mean, because it works. Because I mean, like he's infiltration. He's Wolverine's debut, I believe, if I'm correct, was the Hulk, him hunting down the Hulk, and I think that people loved it. Yeah, that was his debut.
Right, but what I'm saying when I say that, I mean, like, when you think of just a general association. I'm not saying that he can't have stealth elements, right? I'm not saying he can't be nimble and silent and deadly, right? What I'm saying is, like, at least in my interpretation of Wolverine, right? What I've always kind of been established with Wolverine, that he is, what makes him so good at stealth is his tracking, right? It's his ability to notice the slight displacement of mud, right, from a boot. The way that the leaves has rustled because he can smell your sweat and cologne, versus hopping through the trees to sneak up on you. I might come grab you out the bush, right? Like, I might come about the water and yank, you know what I'm saying? But like I just felt like, I'm like, I don't know.
I see it. He to me, he's Jungle Man. You know, he's
Yeah,
not. He may not be. He's there. I mean, look at his moveset from all his games. Let's play. Let's go back. Let's look at Marvel vs. Capcom Wolverine. Wolverine got the ups, right? That's one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that might be a stretch because it's a 2D fighter, but no, it's along the lines of what he can do. In the comics, this guy's jumping on Sentinels, and right. This man's going right, jumping through Sentinels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Superman style, clawing them up. It's there, man, because he's a Wolverine, but also has elements of a wolf in him, right? There's wolf. There's like the hunting with the pack of wolves. There's Wolverine with the bear. He represents every woodland animal, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make it. You know, it's not far for me to accept that he's gonna jump on a tree and hang there and wait for you, and after
yeah,
that, do a flip to swing off. It's not far fetched at all.
like you remember that last Predator, the last
You,
Predator game that came out on Predator
Super
Hunting Grounds,
Craven. Yeah, you're dealing with a
the
Super Craven. Yeah,
like
Predator,
the
prime example.
like like what I liked about that game was the parkour elements of like hiding in the trees and stuff like that, like and how you're going through the trees and stuff like that. Yeah, like Wolverine is well capable of those things. But then like how you said, it's pre-alpha stage, like the other elements will come later.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've only gotten, I wouldn't even call it a teaser trailer. Like it was literally just a 5-10 second snippet. So like yes, bro, like you know what I mean? No, this might not come out to
Oh
2026.
no, I saw a lot more. I saw like
Yeah.
good 25, 30
Yeah.
minutes of
There's a
footage.
lot of clips, Tim. A lot.
There's a lot of clips. And to me, he's always, he's super Craven. You know, anything Craven could do, Wolverine could do it just as good. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Craven being acrobatic, Wolverine is up there. You know, ballistic barrage. I want to see some of those elements brought into that game. This just seems like God of War. I didn't like the camera view, man. Even though we're
I think
talking
that
about
camera view is going to be fixed. I think it was
yeah,
way, to me, it was way too close to him for it to be like, this is no way that this is the final way the camera is fixated on this character. There's no, it's like, it's
yeah,
literally
because
on his shoulder. It's not even
yeah, the
behind,
Resident
like, it's like,
Evil,
it's, yeah, it's like, bro, like, dude.
Resident Evil camera work. Now you mean to tell me I'm
Yeah.
Wolverine and I'm doing inputs like turning left and right?
Yeah.
Oh man, no
Yeah.
man,
I
it's gonna
don't,
feel
I
like
don't
I'm
think,
using Leon's combat knife. Nah, fam.
yeah,
Nah,
I
man.
don't think that sticks in the final build. That's why I was like, it's hard to judge, right? It's hard to say like, oh, I hate this. This game looks like it's gonna be trash. Like I've seen some of those takes. I'm like, this is leaked, unfinished footage. This is going to change for sure. But before the game gets released, it's just more so like my whole thing with that with you guys is like, do you feel like from what you've seen in terms of the elements, right, the core concepts, the fact that they have some type of weapons based counter system that isn't just involving his claws, the fact that it's clearly going to be M for mature, based on some of the combat footage we've seen, the fact that they're making an effort to include more stealth elements in the game and having him fight demon looking samurais and things like that, are some of these core elements some of the things that you guys are like, okay, this is what I'm hoping for from a Wolverine game?
I want a game. Number one, I want a game. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want Dawson's Creek Wolverine, where it's a storyline. He depressed. Listen, one thing I can't stand about the PlayStation template is you can't tell the games apart if you just get a screenshot. I can't tell apart Last of Us from Days Gone. I can't tell apart some parts of Uncharted from Last of Us. If there's not a destroyed building there, you can't tell. Now, if you go jungle setting, right, and if the jungle setting's not decayed, you wouldn't be able to tell
Nah,
with
Tim, he's
certain
right.
parts of. You
He's right.
know what I'm saying? You can't tell.
From Uncharted to Last of Us, bro. Nah, you
No,
tripping.
I'm
he's
not
right.
tripping. I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to tell. You wouldn't be able to tell. The pamphlet, the scenery, all the same, right? Now with this one, Wolverine, it got to be a game, man, because the best Wolverine game I've ever played recently was off of the movie.
Wolverine
That
Origins is a very
thing
underrated game.
was fire.
I do feel like the villain is gonna be something Silver Samurai related.
Oh, they already kind of spoiled it.
Yeah.
They already kind of spoiled it. It's
Ah,
it's Omega Red
Hmm.
and Sabretooth. Yeah.
Or it's a
So
weapon. It's a weapon. It's a weapon X.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that means already expect Canadian Wilderness. So
Yeah.
basically, yes, Days Gone.
Well, one of the other leaks was that it's not open world, it's hub worlds. It's several hub
Yeah,
world levels. Hmm.
yeah.
Mystique is in the
And
game. Several X-Men is in the game. So I was kind of like, that was a bummer. There was
so that
one,
means upstate New York.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um,
there were, I can't remember the stages off the top of my head, but there was a couple of leaks of like it's gonna jump from it's almost like a world hopping. Like when I say world hopping, I mean in terms of like Singapore, New York, like just different areas in the world.
Yeah, there's going to be a city stage. There's going to be a jungle stage. There's going to be a forest stage. There's going to be the suburban area went for flashbacks. Yeah, yeah. It's a Wolverine. It's a Wolverine psych journey, bro. You gotta know what it is.
Does with it being a hub world, right? Do you guys think it should be more God of War esque, where you can revisit a hub world and still deal with enemies, or is this a one time playthrough where once you kind of clear an area, that's kind of it?
revisit because like you have to revisit because um things have to matter. Stages have to matter. Are you gonna give me a hub world? I have to go be able to go back. If it doesn't like fall in order, I won't be mad.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just
Hmm.
about to use that example.
If it doesn't like fall in order, I won't be mad at all. I can't be mad because I just can't because this stage is actually 3 or 4 stages in one,
Right,
right? Yeah,
right.
this other stage is 5 stages in one. I won't be
Especially in Jedi
mad.
Survivor, them hubs were huge in Jedi Survivor.
Well, and
Bro, Jedi Survivor took Kashyyyk times 5. I was like, bro, when does it end? When does
Huge.
it end?
There's
wow,
maybe two levels
yeah,
that felt like empty, but like even like when they went to like Coruscant, I'm like, yo, like a
yeah.
hub world.
Coruscant was dope. I love
Yeah,
Coruscant. Um, but yeah, and the thing is, combat gotta be fun, man. If it's not more
that's
fun than Spider Man, then I don't.
and
If it's not
that's
more fun than Wolverine Origins,
that's where I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Like we've spoken about this in depth when it comes to Spider-Man. Insomniac still struggles a bit when it comes to hand-to-hand combat games. They excel in weapons-based combat, right? Like let's be for real. You have more fun playing Ratchet and Clank in terms of weapons combat than you will with Spider-Man hand-to-hand combat. It is what it is. They've gotten better, right? I think Spider-Man 2, again, like I said it on other podcasts, is leaps and bounds better in terms of combat options than the initial Spider-Man, but they still have a ways to go. You can't look at that and then look at even Arkham City and be like, these are the same styles of games. Like the things Batman can do in there is just still to this day, like just like wow. You know what I'm saying? So like
but
for
the thing is, with those games, you are Batman. Now I need to be Wolverine.
I
I
mean
need to be
maybe
Wolverine
they
in
make
this
it
game.
happen. Maybe they make it
Because
happen.
from what I was seeing, I'm like, man, Wolverine moveset is.
It's still
Bro,
really,
it's
really
pretty.
early.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
bro, it's
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's
pre-alpha.
You know
really,
what?
really early.
Well, we're like, yeah, I won't go far, but I'm like, man, come on, y'all boys got X-Men, no kicks. Wolverine don't do. He do a straight Hugh Jackman kick. Come on, man. Like
Yeah.
I need Wolverine from the comics, man. Come on,
It's
man.
still early, right? So like that's why
Ballistic
I was like,
Barrage,
yeah, it's
Tornado
still
Claw.
early. It's early enough where it's like I don't want us to kind of like break down the gameplay because again it'll probably
got
change.
you, got you,
It was just
got
more
you.
so
That's
the
not fair.
elements,
You're
right?
right.
Like I was like,
You're
do
right.
you feel like having stealth works? Do you feel like having like these core elements that are not going to change? Yes, they'll be refined, but they're not going to change, right? Stealth is not going to go away because the footage leaked. They're still going to do stealth.
And by the way, due to the leak, I do expect certain things are going to get scrapped and it's going to get pushed back.
Well, Insomniac actually released a statement a couple hours before we started recording the pod, saying that this has not hindered the development of Wolverine in any way. Take with that what you will. Take from that what you will. That could mean anything.
Oh
That
boy.
could mean anything, but that's
No,
what they say.
that means they're gonna just that means they're just gonna let time go by, And as you keep expecting a sense, like, oh, there was some, they're going to change the narrative, like, oh, there were some things that we would like to refine. Like, yes,
We
no,
just
it's
wanted to
because
get
you
it
started
perfect.
over. We've seen it happen, bro. Look at Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia released that one trailer, bro. People wasn't having it. They scrapped the whole game, bro,
We just
and
wanted to
just
get it
released the
perfect for
whole
the
now.
fans because you deserve it.
And I was
I
like,
still
so
wanted that
like,
one, man. I still wanted that Prince of Persia game.
I was like, so wait, so I was like, so the other ones is not coming out, and it's like, oh no, here's Prince of Persia, where you're actually trying to save the prince, and you're taking on a new character, but he has time bending abilities. I was like, yeah, they got rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're starting over, bro. Trust me, they're starting over.
Okay.
They're gonna have that talk with Sony, and they're starting over.
Okay. Fair.
So that
Fair.
means somebody else of their flagships is gonna have to like take the reins on something.
Well, that's a great segue into the other part of the leak, right? I think we'll table the roadmap. I know we've seen people talk about the roadmap a lot about what's coming in the next 5 years for Insomniac because on that roadmap was supposedly an X-Men game. And I'm like, well, if this Wolverine game, like you said, Tim, might see a delay, that X-Men game is going to be out sometime before we're 40, maybe. If they even end up making it, right? It's just a roadmap. It could be canceled before it even goes into production. So I don't even want to talk about that. But what I
Jeez.
do, what I do want to talk about, in terms of games that are, being developed, there was a lot of concept art for that multiplayer Spider-Man game. A lot,
Didn't see any of it, man. Wow.
really. So that one
Nothing.
I shared in the chat of Madam Web, that was one of the concept arts. So it was basically a Spider Verse set of concept arts. Um,
Gotham Knights, Marvel, Spider Man.
very much so, Tim. Very much so.
Remember, we said that.
No,
We
we
said that it's
did.
coming.
We did. And boy, the three prophets of the pod have spoken. Like when I
Oh
tell
my.
you. So basically, again, this is just concept art being kind of pieced together. Madam Web is kind of at the hub of this. You're seeing concept arts of different styles of Otto Octavius fighting Spider Gwen, Miguel O'Hara Spider Man, Spider Punk. You're seeing it's not clear whether or not you create your own Spider Man, but you definitely pick an archetype of do you want to be a Peter Parker style Spider Man, a Gwen
Leonardo,
style, huh?
Leonardo,
Yeah,
Donatello,
yeah,
Michelangelo, Raphael.
yeah. They had pictures of Spider Woman. It's like just certain things of like you could tell, and I'll send y'all it in the group chat once we're done with the pod. Like you can tell, it's like you pick your archetype for this co-op based Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse game.
Oh boy.
Spider Knights, pretty much.
Oh my.
Yeah,
I
What
don't want that, man.
I
I don't
think
want that,
it's,
man.
I think it
So, is it
the way
open world Spider-Man or stage-based multiplayer?
uh, mm,
Because that's gonna be wild. An
not
open
quite,
world Spider.
not quite open world, not quite open world. Kind of like how, from what I again, this is just with concept art changes drastically all the time between that and production. Imagine Marvel's Avengers, but with Spider-Man. You have a certain areas of New York or certain areas of wherever they're transported, because again, it's a Spider-Verse based game. You, three other people, tackle these missions, move on, that type of thing. Maybe not quite live
Nah.
service, but definitely, co-op, team up elements. Why are you against it, Jory? Let me ask that.
Did Avengers feel amazing to you?
You know what's funny? Having played the ultra discounted edition with every single piece of DLC, I actually did not hate that combat system. The combat system was not where I had the issue. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. I'm against it because, like, the last thing somebody wants is something scaled down, right? Now, I'm Peter Parker, And the thing is, you can't give me multiplayer when other games are doing multiplayer, more multiplayer than you. I don't want to say they don't. I know they're completely different. Go ahead, Tim.
And another thing about archetype games, you already know, is that to just sell you costumes. We don't want that. That's all it's about, bro. Gotham Knights, that's all it was about. It was about, oh yes, you could customize your character. And it was just too much, bro. Just
To
get
no
rid of
avail.
that.
To no avail. To no avail. And that's the thing. I don't want. Okay, you giving me. Like if that game came out, because you already had a Shattered Dimensions. Are you gonna give me Shattered Dimensions? Uh, PS5 now,
I
where
mean,
you can,
yeah,
you
yes.
can, you where now you can, where now you can explore this area, Spider-Man, but versus entire New York. Not these boys want to go to Compton next. I'm telling you, you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, because it was basically like the different art styles of each
Yeah,
particular character.
that's what
The
caused it to work.
noir, the Batman Beyond futuristic of Miguel O'Hara, um, Web of Shadows Spider Man,
Mm,
where there's symbiotes everywhere for some odd reason, and then, of course, the classic Peter Parker Save the Day New York
mm,
with the Sandman battle, because you
yeah,
already know.
yeah, with the thick black outlines of a cartoon, yeah, comic book
Yeah,
Yeah,
character.
bro.
so
But
like it's not gonna like
but
I'm
but we
it's
also got to
because it's
be
like
realistic. There's no way. There's no server in existence that could support 4 separate internet connections in a
then
New York
what's the
City.
point? Then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't do it. Like don't even try. Like hey guys, we're gonna try to build a wall that reaches as high as the Trade Center in Dubai,
You
and
would need
we want
rock.
this to
You would need
like yo
Rockstar
wait.
servers, a Grand Theft Auto Online server, to support that amount of constant loading in. The glitches
I
on
mean
that would break the internet.
like
Like,
y'all really trying to build a mid guard for real? A mid guard? Final Fantasy 7 mid guard? Like good luck, man. Um,
I, to
that
me,
dog.
I guess like because it's
Okay,
not tied in
so
and tied into the main Spider-Man games, I don't see a problem with it, right? Because if it's trash,
okay,
it affects nothing. It changes nothing.
but it's like, what's the like you? How is the world gonna be? Is it a hub world? All right, so am I gonna be in Kingpin's mansion and then it's for like what is going on? It just it's just too.
You said it earlier, bro. It's like shattered dimensions. It's going to be from one zone that they teleport you to the next.
Hmm.
It's going to be a fusion of shattered dimensions and Jedi Survivor. You already know.
With a little bit of little sprinkle of Ratchet and Clank rift hopping in between to take advantage of that.
That's it.
Yeah,
And then they to stop everybody from overusing webs, you have to worry about your web cartridges too. That's
probably.
gonna be insane. So I'm basically be called Acrobat the Man. Me, I'm like, what's going? There's nothing Spider Man about it, yo. That's what I said. No New York, no Spider Man, no buildings, no Spider Man.
Yeah,
Spot.
I will say it would be a rough sell,
Hey,
a rough sell, definitely.
Spider Man Vice
It'd be,
City, y'all boys.
yeah, it'd be an uphill battle of like, I mean, because
Y'all
the
gonna
thing
play
is,
that?
like, I will say on one hand, like, yeah, you're able to kind of really reuse assets, right? Because web swinging is web swinging, right? I don't need to come up with 6 different web swinging styles for people. Maybe a couple of unique
Dog,
animations, but there's a couple
dog.
of things where you could reuse assets. But I'm just like, I don't know how you would do it enough to make it a full fledged game. But we only looked at concept art, so it's hard to say.
Dog. And like, yo, why is Spider Woman double jumping? Well, here's what she can do. She can allow the webs to absorb with the wind and jump off them, causing a yeah, like, fam.
Yeah.
You have if Madam Web exists, this game is gonna be ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I
And
said, once I sold y'all that concept concept art of Madam Web. I'm like, oh, we could just cancel this for now. If she's involved, this whole game could go. Nothing good can come from this.
Oh
No good
man.
90s cartoon, no good live action
Oh
movie.
man.
Madam and Web should not be in any sentence with Spider-Man at this point, in my opinion. Thanos her from existence from this continuity, please.
Dog.
She has contributed
fam,
nothing positive to this character.
You know what that when she introduced, you know what that felt like in the X-Men cartoons when Professor Xavier was in the land of the lost with the dinosaurs. I hated that arc with every bone in my body.
But
When
it's based off
Professor
the
X was
comics.
my goodness. I said, when is this gonna end, dog?
Yeah,
This was the
but
Scott Pia arc.
it's based off the comics.
The Scott Pia arc, dog. Like,
Yeah.
hey man.
A couple of other things on that leak list, real quick. Venom standalone game, 2025. Lethal Protector. Fellas, what are our thoughts?
I'm down for it.
Yeah. Carnage based symbiote hives in New York City as one of the ideas being tossed around.
Okay.
Yeah. Taskmaster shows up. Yeah. Shocker shows up. Like, yeah, why not? I don't care.
I mean, Shocker's dead.
Shocker's dead, bro.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying, you know. Like, why would you do that? But hey, the writing's on the way. This game is gonna be something else, boy. Part
Really?
3? Oh.
Yeah, really. The only thing that my mind is doing mental gymnastics about with Venom is like, how in the world are they going to utilize his character? How is it still going to be Harry? Do you introduce Eddie Brock in the DLC? Like, how do you introduce Venom to have a standalone game? The game ends with Harry in a coma and Venom being quote unquote dead.
Anti-Venom.
Yeah,
because
but
remember that's what he used.
But does that mean that he's not dead? Like, what? I don't, like, where? I mean, obviously, yes, Venom has returned multiple times in like the comics, like everybody else. But who?
Well, I mean, but you remember what they always say, like, however long you spend with the symbiote, it literally bonds with you on a cellular level. Just like how when Peter had it for that short amount of time, there were some traces in his cells already. So maybe, due to Harry's more explosion, maybe there are hints of it. Like, remember they said they perfectly bonded. So that means Venom is now part of his DNA. So, when Peter did the whole anti-Venom blast thing, just like how Mr. Negative Man did on him, you never may know. He might become anti-Venom.
Might reawaken as Venom. Okay. But I mean, are we here for a standalone Venom game? I remember we were talking about the possibility of maybe another Miles Morales spinoff or something introducing Silk.
No, I think a Venom spinoff would because Miles. Because the thing about it is, people wanted a taste of Miles before we got Miles, and I feel like that's what the game was. And now, this game's gimmick was Venom, the symbiote suits, the symbiote powers. So I do feel like it is on brand with the terms of a story DLC, because it's kind of like you want something before Part 3 comes out.
Yeah,
that's point blank. Because, like, let's be honest, this new game plus is going to last like a month, and that's it.
Well, speaking of new game plus, Tim, you just keep introducing these leaks. I'm telling you, these leaks were extensive. Speaking of new game plus, there was also a roadmap to Spider-Man 2 DLC, right? With new game plus and Mission Select leading the pack, right? Bringing time of day, being able to change the color of the symbiotes and whatnot. And on this DLC roadmap were 3 very interesting installments. With the first one being one about the Beetle, being DLC Pack 1, like we all theorized that that character might play a part as a villain. The second being Carnage. And then the third being Into the Spider-Verse tie-in. What do we think?
Actually,
guys?
no. The last one they needed because there is a Spider-Verse Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to. They have to do it, bro. They have to.
I'm just oversaturated with
It
all
don't have to be
these.
the scale of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. I
And
hope
not for
not.
and not for nothing. I mean, this version of Peter is in the Spider-Verse movies. He is. He's in them.
Yeah,
He cameos in both of
and
them.
also the little bear villains. Remember, because he was in the cage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's already cemented in the movie aspect. Jory, he is in those movies. His world and his properties are in those movies. But how do you feel? You guys already know. I don't think Carnage should have been a DLC anything, but clearly that's what they're planning on doing. But how are you guys feeling about the Beetle being a mission, Carnage being a mission, Spider Verse being a mission?
that's good. I'm down for it.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Because,
mean,
like,
this
remember,
is this is if this makes it better than part two. I
because
mean,
bro, you
part
gotta
one. I
at
mean,
the end
yeah.
because at the end of the day, bro, the rogues list is already short
Everyone's
because
dead.
you don't kill almost. And then the thing about it is, yeah, it's like you got to deal with what you got left.
Hashtag where is Hydro Man? The real
Y'all
villain the
not ready
city
for Hydro
needs.
Man. Y'all not ready for Hydro Man. Hydro Man is what do you gonna do to that guy?
Yeah.
You know, Spider Man beat him by luck and writing.
Okay. I still, maybe it's just me being hard headed. I don't think Carnage should be regulated to DLC, in my personal opinion.
I think it would be cool because, like, first of all right, the dude basically won in that story mission that you got.
Mm-hmm.
How big of a time skip do you want before he starts to like reap carnage on the world? Because the way that I look at it, he's a very fast moving person.
Mm-hmm.
He probably cracked open that canister that night.
And got to it and got to straight to bonding.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's kind of like, bro, like we don't really need to wait too long, I would say. And then,
A
like, and you could tell, like,
DLC.
Yuri has been coming like a more of a character where they go more into depth about her during the DLCs. It's the same thing what happened with the whole Silver Sable, Black Cat, stuff that was
Hammerhead.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I do foresee it. And then, like I said, out of animal characters, we listed a few of them, and they named one. So we finally got somebody.
Yeah. And like I said, the Beetle I think makes sense because again, he's recognized or she, right? Because the Beetle has been both a man and woman depending on the continuity. They're recognizable enough, but not big enough to be where like you should have saved them for a main game. Like you can make Beetle DLC, and it's like, all right, well, Marvel's version
He
of
was
Firefly
he
esque
was
type
fire in
character,
Ultimate. He
super
was
fire, yeah.
fire Spider Man Ultimate, man.
Mm-hmm. Some of the best chase sequences in a PS2 era video game for sure,
Oh,
for sure.
what? Man.
Yeah. So that one I'm completely on board with. But that's the DLC roadmap, and then the final piece, fellas. The final, at least as of this recording, who knows what they'll come up with by the end of the year. The final piece. There was a couple of little snippets and tidbits about Marvel's Spider-Man 3 and what that roadmap looks like. 3 playable Spider-Man confirmed. Cindy Moon confirmed as Silk for Spider-Man 3. That's 1.
Okay.
Leak number 2. Green Goblin confirmed. Part
Playable?
3. No. Main antagonist.
Okay.
Leak number what was that, number 3? Yeah. Leak number 3. A concept art of him leading a goblin based army. So like him and other goblin based minions with him as other antagonists.
Basically, like Mr. Negative and the Inner Demons.
Yes, but people kind of corrupted by the G serum, basically.
Uh,
I don't know.
I mean, I
Yeah.
like the Goblin factor, but
Who's
no.
the other Spider Man? Peter Parker?
Of course.
Okay, because they was the way they was writing this one, man. Peter
Oh no.
Parker can
He
the
no.
boots,
They
the
no.
boots.
They weren't retiring him for real. No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
You
very
can't retire a
much.
college student.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you
very much.
you can't. Yeah. Hey, Hey, listen, you don't know. You, I don't. I'm not surprised at any business decision these guys
He
make.
just wants more time for his philanthropy. That's
Yeah, and you know,
that.
there's also been that thing where they Marvel for whatever reason is afraid of having Peter grow up. You know, like anytime he gets a little over the age of 25, it's like, all right, reboot, put him back in high school. So this might be the first game where we see him as like an adult. Um, so the Goblin Army thing, guys, there's no pushback, nothing you guys would have rather seen than
Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man crossover. Heck, no, I don't want to see that, man.
I I wanted to see the what's the name of the robots? The Spider Slayers.
Spider Slayers.
Duh.
I agree. Well, we don't know that they're not going to be in the game. It's just again, these are concept arts and little notes and
Because for me, the only way this could turn out is Spider-Man and Friends. So Spider-Man fights a villain of the week from another series.
And then of course, Red Goblin, bro. Red Goblin.
mm-hmm.
That's the it makes sense,
Yeah.
bro.
Red
You've been doing too
Goblin,
many hits.
Carnage, Doctor Octopus, like for sure. But again, we don't know that they won't be in the game. It's just it is leaks, right? It's leaks. There was also a mention of rather than you swinging to a marker with a mission, it's the missions will kind of generate as you're swinging through the city, right? So you're swinging and maybe an explosion goes off and that triggers a mission versus you swing to point B that's 1,000 meters this way and then a cutscene triggers. So a little bit more of a real time mission based system.
Okay.
That's beast.
Yeah,
That's beast.
yeah, right. Sounded
That's
pretty
beast.
good. The fourth leak, and again, because we're looking at roadmaps, we don't know it to be confirmed. It seems like that the third Spider-Man game might be broken up into parts. Yeah. We don't know how accurate it is. People are theorizing that it's Sony testing a new business model, right? Where it's like, rather than giving you Spider-Man and then Miles Morales, right? I give you a full price Spider-Man 3 game at $70. Give you Spider-Man 3 Part 2 at say 40, and then Spider-Man 3 Part 3 at 40. So now you're paying what? 150 for a game? Again, rumors could completely be off the mark.
Maybe they're trying to like see like if it get applied, like you know how like for what Final Fantasy is doing now, with the multiple parts. Maybe they're trying to see if that could actually work in its favor.
That only works because the game is too big.
Yeah, and it's an
Spider-Man does
RPG.
not. Yeah.
I've never
So
heard of
it's
a
like
3-part action adventure
no,
game.
no. I see what you said, but like, yeah, for me, that just gonna get swatted immediately.
I've never heard of a
Because
3-part
remember,
action adventure game.
because remember, Resident Evil Revelations 2 was an episodic game.
For the little toy screen, you know. For the little toy screen. Yeah.
Would you guys would you? I mean, we've
No,
seen.
no.
Heck nah, man. Man, I was about to load up the weapon, man. Like, nah, man. Say what? Sony what? What's up?
We've seen a lot of ways in which companies are looking to maximize on profits when it comes to games.
Dog, Sony on their
Came
Sengoku
out.
era.
Them sales
My
reports came
goodness.
out. Ratchet and Clank
Them
failed
boy-
to break even.
Feudal
Them
Japan
Steam numbers was looking
Sengoku
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, Tim. Sony's sales numbers when it comes to Insomniac were released. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart apparently failed to break even. And generally speaking, most of the Sony first-party games that were released on Steam did not sell the greatest. Miles Morales didn't even do 1 million copies on Steam.
Was it? See, because
Yeah,
it's
because
not
they're ports.
day one. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
day one.
yeah, they're just ports. They're hand-me-downs.
Like, the game has been out for how long? I'm seeing the spoilers. People wet balling and you know, like you feel like I don't care
You've
no
seen
more, man.
the think pieces about where the story's going. Like
I'm reading the Twitter feeds on how to. I'm seeing a YouTube video in my passing, and it just automatically loads up. Here's why Spider-Man 2's ending sucks. And I'm like, oh no! And then you want me to pay how much?
Yeah, pay retail a year and some change from the original release date.
I'm an
Yeah,
afterthought. The PC gamers are different, man. They're gonna hold that grudge, man.
yeah,
That's all I was reading on the feed. Like, this game's 5 years old, man. Ah! Like they want, you know what I'm saying? The boys wasn't even having it, man.
yeah.
Like,
I think that little window where game companies could kind of get away with but now you can mod this game. Like Allure has worn off of like God of War, but with the mods. It's like it's not as the draw isn't there as much as you think it is. Like mods
release
are
day one.
cool. Yeah, mods are
Hmm.
fun, right? They can be, but it's like I don't know. Like I don't know if this is worth full retail price of a 2-year-old game, like you said, Jory. Um, and then with Ratchet and Clank, do we sum up those sales based off it being released during the pandemic times when nobody had a PS5?
Okay, yeah, now that's another thing. Yeah, that's true. Like, scalpers ruined a lot of this experience for a lot of people.
Yes.
Believe it or not, they
No,
did,
I
man.
believe it.
They
I can
absolutely did.
speak
So
to
with
it.
Ratchet and Clank, I don't understand why these business guys don't look at the stakes and terrain. Like, would I be mad at if to get my game you would have to cross over a landmine for it just to get? I can't. I have to rely on factual information. We were not coming. We were not in the best of times for we just weren't, and we're paying for it now. Companies are paying for it now. You
Mm.
know, um, Ratchet and Clank again. There needs to be a budget to where you're gonna be willing to sacrifice something, and then you dial up and you make improvements better. The fact that it exists is good. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, they need to bring back PlayStation hits for PS5 because this whole game where it's just like, oh yeah, it's still over $40-$50. Like, no, bro, no.
Oh, so you're saying you
Drop
can't even
Ratchet
make up
Clank.
money on the back end because it's still selling at full price 3 years later?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
makes
of
sense.
course.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna do? Like if it, like people are they're hovering over it. Like I'd get this game if it was this much. It looks fun though. Next time,
Mm.
that's what they're
Yeah, I
doing.
mean, it was on sale for $23, so that's close enough.
Keep it there.
But then the thing about it is the last one before that. Remember that was tied into the movie, so it had also extra promotion. But then, like you said, this one was the time when we still didn't really have excuse me, didn't have PS5s like that. So it's like, yes, you release a flagship character, that has still lasted multiple generations, but his life cycle was cut short. So you have to bring in some form of promotion. And then, to be honest, bro, I think it would have did good. Yes, I get it. Sony wants to bring in more animation and live actions, but bro, a Ratchet animation story, bro, like similar to like Sonic Prime,
Mm.
it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The crossover.
Explore,
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would
explore
have
the
did.
world,
Yeah.
explore the world, and then that, like I said, that ties into the thing. To be honest, I watched the Gran Turismo movie the other day, and honestly, it was not that bad. It was a very detailed story, yeah, but then that's what they said. It's a detailed story. There's no super top notch Fast and the Furious action here. It's
Mm.
about the journey of what this game brought to people.
That's respectable. That's respectable.
And then you know what? Did I don't want to disrespect him, but his name is like Digimon, the actor.
Oh, give us free. What's
Yeah,
his? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. He's in it. He's in it, and I respect him as an actor. And I know times have been tough. But then I respect Sony for giving him a main character role in it, hands down.
Mm. He's been doing his thing though
Um, ho-
lately. He's been doing a lot of things lately. A
yeah.
lot.
So yeah, it was a straightforward movie. Like it's a straight, I would say 7, but it's like a good 7, not like a borderline 7.
Mm.
Like it was a straightforward, enjoyable movie for what it was.
For I
Yeah,
mean,
it's in gritty London, but you could tell like the characters, they were into what they were doing.
mm. I mean,
Okay.
I'll take a 7 for a movie that looked like one long marketing trailer. You know, like so, yeah, like
bro. The Sony Brandon in
I
that
can
movie
only
was,
imagine.
it was like here, here.
Right. How long into the movie before they whipped out the custom one of a kind Gran Turismo PlayStation controller? Like
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I kid you not. 2 minutes. The Brandon started. Well, actually, no. The first level of Brandon was because with PlayStation games they have the PlayStation Studios montage,
Mhm.
but after that, like literally barely 2 minutes later, everywhere, everywhere.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And you cannot blame them because this is a Sony
No, of course.
movie.
Of course. That's but I can still call it for what it is. Like like when they did the whole movie with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon called Air, like I expected to see the Jordan insignia from minute 1 to minute 100, right? Like it is what it is. We know what the movie's about.
Boy, boy, oh boy.
So I guess I'll ask guys a conclusion. Well, how are we feeling in the grand scheme of the Insomniac leaks? We had spoken at one point at length about how we didn't want Insomniac to necessarily become a superhero gaming studio, and not for. I mean, oh, they also. Well, we don't have to talk. We'll talk about it a different time. But they're also apparently planning for another Ratchet and Clank sometime in like the 2029. Apparently, there's some concept art about that going out too.
Jeez, PS9. Okay, yeah,
But
that's not dropping in our life PlayStation lifetime, man.
but how are you guys feeling about Insomniac looking more and more like a superhero game studio?
It just might be for this
Um,
run, and then we'll get over it, man. It won't be because if that's the case, man, build another studio to take care of that, and if that's yeah, just build another studio to handle that, and after that, y'all handle y'all spin-offs and y'all create your own new thing, and that's what I would do.
I would say don't confine them because, like, to be honest, I feel like we deserve one more resistance. After
Mm,
especially what happened with the last one, like Resistance 3 story, I was like, okay,
mm,
okay. It's like yes, bro. Like y'all learned y'all lessons from part two, and y'all just went ham.
mm,
But then the PlayStation Network hack happened. I was like, yeah, bro, that just sealed the fate of the game.
mm,
So I do feel like we do deserve something else, resistance. And then like I said, man, like Sony Studios, they're not afraid to explore new IPs, but I do feel like with these type of restrictions, you're gonna hold people back, man. And I do feel like Sony really needs to be careful.
Hmm.
mm,
Sony really needs to be careful and where they are right now. Like how you just said earlier, don't get so Hollywood struck, bro. Like people love your products because of the genuineness that you put into it. And I
right.
feel like keep that same spirit, and you will continue to have a legacy of people always coming back. You know, it's just like yes, we want to see, and then and I would say like outside of the Four Horsemen, we want to see more from these other studios that you bought
Mm,
because you said your focus is on PlayStation Studios, so that means that needs to go across the board for everybody else.
mm.
Now, this PC studio that you hired
Y'all
for
better
the
get to it.
ports,
Yeah, y'all better get to it, boy. Man, this
it's
look
see, you know what they need to do? They need to build ground up games like for both. Like
like
I said,
simultaneously. Mm,
yes, simultaneously, bro. Like none of that, or or if any once in a while, PlayStation PC exclusive or
mm,
whatever.
mm.
You got to give some form of incentive to it, bro.
Okay.
So
Okay. Joy, what you think?
I personally don't see why. I mean, a company wouldn't do something like that. If Xbox were like, yeah, this game will come out on Xbox later, but for right now, it's an Xbox PC exclusive. Yeah, that's genius. You want
Mm,
your money? Go get your money. I don't look at a PC player and feel threatened. Go ahead and play Baldur's Gate 2000, Diablo 2000. Keep that. Point and click away, man. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, you feel me? Y'all want to play your Warcraft? You want to click here to do an attack? 2 thumbs up. My 2 thumbs are going to be on joysticks, buddy. Go ahead. Control Alt Delete away, man. All right, like dog, I don't see what was the harm in that. And then make a lot of the games that are important day one, and then crossplay. Boom. That should not be an option anymore. And the reason why, what up? No, well, if you want to play this on PC, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to adapt to a controller. Just get a controller. It's not gonna kill you. That's just what it comes with. Oh, okay. Call it a day. I want to play with keyboard and mouse, man. No. Like just do that. You know, right? You want it. Listen, you guys want to crossplay with everybody for the next Madden? Get a controller. You can get the PlayStation PC controller. You can get the Xbox PC controller. Doesn't matter. Just you got to understand, your platform is not. You can make one for a game, but it's not a console. You have to do updates. You got to get a graphics card. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do any of that. Those are the trade-offs, man. The compromises, you meet it there. Yeah. And that's what I would do as a company. Just release day one, man. And that would cause Sony would definitely make a return on the games they're making.
I agree. Because
it pains me that a game comes out with such attention to detail, such passion, and it's like the game doesn't exist. All people are getting the PlayStation 4 is to play Madden.
I mean, I think that's starting to be a little less true, depending on the property, right? Like, again, Spider-Man 2 doesn't sell 4 million copies in 2 days if everyone's only playing Madden, right? I think you do have a couple of system selling incentives. Not to your point, not as many as there should be, but you have some. You have some games that are going to move some consoles for sure, but not consistently enough. I would say to be like, okay, other than around Christmas, what else am I copying a PS5 specifically for?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it, man. That's how I feel.
Yeah. For me, real quick, I would just say that I think Insomniac is too creative to be limited to superhero properties. That's it.
Yeah.
I think to Tim's point, we've gotten great Resistance games, great Ratchet and Clank games. Like you see a studio that's very passionate, right, about an IP that they're promoting, right? Even Sunset Overdrive, which hasn't come to the PlayStation, all I hear is great things about that game, right? Like, oh, they should have gotten a sequel. Like, that's how you know it's a company that's like, this is not a company that you want to restrict to an established IP. You don't. You want to give them the freedom to be able to do whatever they want with an original idea. It doesn't need to be like, make this original within the confines of X-Men. Make this original within the confines of Spider-Man. Like, you want to give them the freedom and ability to, seriously, to like innovate in a way that was just like, this is what they got into the business for, to be creatives, to give you a video game that like, this is just like, I did not think about this game in this angle in this way, and I'm having the time of my life. This is worth the $70 purchase at this point. So that's kind of my closing thought. And if nobody else has any closing thoughts, I think we'll wrap this pod up.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for listening to us. This is one of the longer pods that we recorded, but again, there was just so much content that happened. There's just certain things we didn't even get to. We didn't even get to our highlights of 2023 when it came into gaming and anime. That might have to wait for the top of 2024 at this point. Like, looking back on this past year, what you guys, really enjoy. But, again, thank you guys, everyone who supported us this year, 2023. We're a podcast that started at basically the midway point of 2023. We've already had our one or two little mini viral moments. We've had, some really good feedback. We've seen our subscriber count slowly but surely rise, and it would not be without the support of people who are at home, who are at work, who are at different places, listening and tuning in and liking and subscribing to our content. And, you know, we're 3 adult men who are just trying to figure it out with, you know, with our own responsibilities and life going on.
Boy. Mm-hmm.
But
My
just know
goodness.
there is more to come in 2024 from the podcast. Stay tuned.
And if it makes you feel better, guys, viewers, we are all playing this game on Elden Ring. All of us. All of us. We are every day going outside into this world playing the game on Sekiro.
Yes.
Yes. In Gears of War, Halo, Legendary,
Sims Edition,
Metal Gear Solid 5, Extreme. What else? Let me can't think of anything, man. Professional. Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. Attack
Every
on
day
Titan
we walk
World.
is Attack on Titan. Oh man.
Well, guys, this has been the Gamer Podcast. I am Antonius the Gamer. This is Super SSS Rank and Mikkel Smith. Thank you guys for listening, and we will be back in 2024. Enjoy your holidays.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you.